All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Supermarket Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys have what? Why is that coming up? I don't know why that's happening. This video gives me a lot of problems. But good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Hopefully, you guys had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
I'm actually feeling really good. Had a great run this morning and feeling ready. Hopefully the trading day, matches my good feelings.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I hope so too. Hope so too. Friends over on YouTube, good morning to you. Members in our chat, good morning, good morning. Our gappers list this morning, before we dive into all this good stuff, we are similar to yesterday's morning. Some green, some red, nothing fantastic yet. Obviously, a couple of earnings leading the way here. We'll look into those, but yeah, looking pretty good this morning, Peter. Hopefully, things continue and not fall apart as we get ready for this market open. All right, before we jump into all this good stuff, Peter, what is the latest and greatest as far as U.S. economy news for today?
Pretty light on the economic calendar. The only thing we're looking forward to today is the consumer sentiment number that's going to come out at 10. It's Friday, which means you get the usual Baker Hughes oil rig count if you trade oil futures, which I don't think many of us do here. But if you do, then you need to know about that. We did have some economic data come out of Canada in terms of retail sales and stuff like that, but nothing for the U.S. So pretty quiet. It is Friday, like I mentioned. So just consumer sentiment should not be market impactful. So we can just happily watch the stocks and let them dictate our course for today.
All right, absolutely. Let's jump right to it, guys. Let's start with our trading terminal gap up and gap down scanners. You can always get those completely free. Head over to tradingterminal.com. First on the list, CEP. Wow, they survived. They're still on here. They're up 20. I haven't seen this since yesterday's madness. So I thought they were just gonna fall apart here, but wow, let's take a look at yesterday's action, right? So this thing halted a couple of times, right? It was just high flying. Halted up, halted down, and somehow managed to recover today. We're up 23% after what seemed to have been a really wild day, Peter. So again, low flow, that's in play. 10 million shares flow is what I'm showing on the charts here. Again, just a risky low flow that's in play.
I don't even know what to do with this. I mean, again, there's no analyst data. This is a shell company, so it doesn't really matter what the news is. Something's going on, but it's just insiders trading it. So if you don't mind having no idea what's happening or why, then, feel free. Go ahead. Jump on the party. But, I'll leave it to you because it's not something that I look forward to trading. So it's all yours. I know others traded it in the room yesterday. Some people had fun with it.
Well, yeah. Andrew made like $5 on this yesterday, if you remember, right? He traded this yesterday. He made $5. But yeah, so just be careful. All right, quick look at PONY, Pony. PONY, let's see what's going on here. So this one right now, we are seeing a gap up of 16.5 at the moment, 4.7 million shares traded, hard to borrow. The flow is 88 million, so it's on the higher side. Last couple of days, we've seen some activity out of this, and we're seeing active pre-market action this morning, Peter. So Pony AI in play today. What's the latest and greatest?
I have no idea. I mean, it's AI, so AI is always good. They did announce a strategic partnership with, I guess this is why I didn't read who it was with Tencent. So that's good for a tiny little company like Pony AI. Giddy up. They are partnering with Tencent, which is, of course, one of the bigger Chinese internet service type companies. So that's good news for them. Never heard of them before. We'll probably never hear of them again after this. But for today, they seem to be in play.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. I've seen the name before, but again, as far as trading, that's not something I'm going to be looking at. All right, let's dive into the next one. Here's going to be the elephant in the room. What was that?
These companies, this Pony AI. I mean, you'd think it's a small company, but they have a $2 billion market cap with 204 million shares traded. Like, it's not a small offering. It just shows China's, gotten real smart. They're like, we'll take American money, sure. Like, not. It's I love how there's all these companies out there that you run across that they have just loaded into the U.S. stock market and attracted international investment. And I don't know, is this thing even real? What do they do? Is it worth $2 billion? I have no idea. Probably most people don't. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, so next one on here, guys, is Google. Again, the elephant in the room this morning with earnings last night. We stayed live for those, and we did get some pretty good action out of it, out of the gates after earnings, right at the close. And today we're seeing a little pull off from the highs of the session. We're still up 3.5 on this 1.7 million shares traded. Obviously in play. Peter, give us a recap of some of their earnings.
Yeah, so they had earnings after the close yesterday. Not that exciting of an after-hours trader. I don't think. I mean, there was certainly a pop in it, but hard to trade, wasn't it? I mean, I had to sort of jump out, but when I looked, it just sort of did the one pop, sold off a bit, and then it was like, anyways, volume dropped off very quickly. That being said, hey, it's going to be in play today, so probably more than usual. They had a good quarter. Beat their numbers top and bottom line, so that was good. What was more important is they had a good talk about AI. Said that their AI engine is now achieving more than 1.5 billion users per month, and that's that's sort of proof at least that there's use of it. Again, how effective is it? What are they using it for? Maybe like me, they're using it to make dumbass pictures that don't make any sense, but it doesn't matter. Did I show you guys that yesterday? I can't remember. Maybe it was just in the chat room.
Yeah, I don't think you showed our YouTube family.
No.
Let's take a look because I don't remember seeing it.
Oh,
so
yeah. Here,
yeah.
I was playing with AI yesterday. I was playing with Chat GPT because my image in the chat room is some electronic thingy there that it's Friday, so I'm gonna go on stories for you guys today. So I said, hey, make me a picture of a bald guy thinking about stocks, and I got this. So I said, no. Look, use the picture of me and make a picture of me thinking about stocks. And look at this. It's like
it
AMD
just
to
made
100.
You mad.
So like it took my history. I didn't say anything about AMD. I didn't even say anything about the price being 100, but it created it. And then I like how it like modified the entire picture, kept the little dock out there or whatever, the pier. It added a dog for some reason. You can see the little dog there. Anyways, and I said, okay, but who's that dude? Like, I actually use the picture of me and make it my face, and then this is what it came up with. Now apparently I'm thinking about Tesla. I don't know why it added that bubble, but anyways, and the dog is now more prevalent in the picture. So it's sort of me. It's like it combined the other dude with my face, and this is what I got. Anyways, it gave me a good reminder that sometimes you got to be careful what you ask AI, right? Because you're going to get back an answer, and it may not quite be what you're looking for. This is easy to course correct, but sometimes it gives you data, and then if you dig deeper, you realize it either made up the data, right? Completely makes up the data, or may not be giving you the reference that you think it is. So,
yeah, I think here it knows your intense love for AMD. It knows that we had a level at 100 that if you got to 100 you're going to drink. So it knows some stuff about you, Peter, that you might not even not know about. In fact, you should ask it one day, Chat GPT, let me know everything you know about me that I did not approve, and let's see if he answers that. But yeah, back to Google friends. Here we are, 3.6 will be in play today, will be on my list. Again, normally not the best for me, max 7 stock to trade compared to Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, and even a Meta at times. But today's their day. Today these guys are on it. They will be on our main list. Next on our gappers list, speaking of Meta is right here following up. So Meta's next year. This morning we are up 2.8, 829 million shares traded, as you see here. And yeah, looking decent. Not as active as Google, of course. Google is the one driving the bus today. So maybe we'll watch Meta as well. So we'll put Meta on here. Peter, this could be just a overall, sympathy play with Google doing so well with ads. Maybe Meta is going to report the same thing. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's partly sympathy. That probably accounts for the volume this morning. Their earnings are coming up, so it could be people looking forward to their earnings. They're happening next week, I think. When are Meta earnings? Hold on. They are coming up next Wednesday, so after the close. So yeah, we still have a few days before that happens. There is news on Meta, but there's always news. Interestingly, they're actually laying off people in their Reality Labs division, which is where they make the Oculus VR headset and some of that. So that's interesting. I didn't see any numbers about how many people they're laying off, how significant it is. I mean, it could just be that they oversized the team, or who knows? It could be related to the macroeconomic and tariff situation. It's tough to tell. But yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of little news out there about it, but nothing that I would think would be enough to drive this stock significantly. Don't forget, the market is down today as well. If I look at the overall market, it's not down by a lot. We're talking about about 0.1% on everything. So I bet I could just be following along.
Yeah, and I think this week, let's take a look at how we're going to how we're scheduled to end the week so far. But if I look at this, I mean, we started pretty bad. We started pretty bad on Monday. We have recovered nicely here, as you can see. We're back to where area where we kind of love to hang out at. So again, big recovery. Look at these big recoveries after big recoveries, and this is what's providing some really good opportunities, right? And not recovery. Recovery is probably a big word. More like a rally, a small rally, a little bit of relief happening in the market this week, as we saw the previous week. Last week was a little bit tougher. This week has just been awesome as far as opportunities. So yeah, let's see where it goes. Who knows? All right, next one on here, we have Riot, and I also have Mara. So a couple of Bitcoin type plays here. Riot this morning up 2.2, 650,000. Our good buddy, well, not a good buddy, but Mara, because it's not our good buddy anymore. It used to be.
No?
So no. We took that title away. You know who we gave it to, Peter? Guess who we gave that title to? I want the title of good buddy. Oh man, you're right. Damn on it.
Yeah,
yes.
you bet.
PLTR took that title. This stock will be on fire. We'll have it on deck.
Yeah.
But going to Mara, going back to Riot, Peter, anything on these two here?
Well, just that Bitcoin prices have had a great week. They've been climbing generally all week, up at $94,800 right now for a Bitcoin. Remember what I said a few weeks ago as we were talking in here? I honestly think Bitcoin was not going to do much if it sat between about that 75,000 and 95,000 range. If it can get over 95,000 and especially through that $100,000 mark, which it's been through before, right? Like, it's not like it hasn't been there, but it didn't stay for very long. But if it can get back through that same level that it was challenging back at the beginning of this fiscal or calendar year, I think we may be off to the races here. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's sort of interesting that crypto generally has been doing a little bit better over the course of this week. Again, we'll see if it can hold that. These stocks, right? The Clean Spark, I always forget what it is. Whatever, CLSK. Anyways, Mara, Riot, Coin, all of those, Hood even, right? All of those that follow along have sort of been benefiting from it. So, yeah, pick what you want. I'm still not convinced they're good intraday traders. Like, we got to go crazy on the price of Bitcoin and that for these really to trade excellent intraday, especially when we have something like PLTR out there that has just been going gangbusters.
Yeah, I like that. That's very true. PLTR has been insane. All right, that covers. Wait, let me update the spanner. So we have our good buddy Google. We're going to add on here. GOOGL is the one I'm going to look at. We also have. We talked about adding Meta, so I'll throw Meta on there. And then we just mentioned PLTR, which we've been again taking great advantage of. Even missing some good opportunities, Peter. I mean, it moves fast. So you're not quick at times. You can miss some great pops here and there. All right, that covers our gap up list this morning. People are asking me about my trade yesterday on Intel. I'll show you. Here it is. Intel yesterday. We went all day on this, by the way. This was Intel. I mean, it lasted a very, very long time. So there it is, all the way from the morning. And we ended up just where we started, basically. I could just got it out here and saved a lot of time. Now, I did put a I did put a range.
For what'd you get? 30 cents on it at the end of the day?
Yes, nothing, man. But so glad I got out, Peter. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. This drop is just.
You got that timing right. I remember we were looking at that.
We were looking at that. So I did leave it with a range order, and I guess what my range order was 2160. and just couldn't get that. Came back, we're still stuck within this range. So just a reminder on why the stock doesn't trade very well, why we usually don't watch it a whole lot. So, but green is green. We're not gonna complain. But what's the wording? We don't no crying in the casino. So that's
No
what we're going to
crying in
do
the
there.
casino, yeah.
Yeah.
So Intel, yeah, earnings after the close yesterday. You can see by that big drop, they weren't that well received, despite the fact they had a good quarter. They beat their numbers top and bottom line. They delivered more revenue and more earnings per share than anticipated. Their guidance, though, they did actually provide forward-looking guidance, and it was at the low end of expectations. They didn't call it off. They just said it's going to be lower than expected. And this is really the first reporting period for their new CEO. And their new CEO, whose name is, it's got a compound name, and I can't remember his name right now. But what was his name? Anyways, it's up here somewhere. But anyways, he what he said. Oh yeah, Lip Bhutan. Actually, I don't even know if that's a him. I assume it's a he. But anyways, Lip Bhutan, their CEO, said in the analyst statements that their bureaucracy is stifling innovation. That they really need to unlock some of the value that is stuck in Intel, and that's going to be his job. The market, though, that's all good, but the market wants to see action. Unfortunately, he used the words, and he said, and I will quote, "Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more information as we're working this through." Look, telling the market to stay tuned is sort of like telling your girlfriend, don't go crazy, just calm down. And we all know what happens when you do that. And Intel is paying the price, I think, for that statement. So that's my analogy for today. I think that's about the equivalent. So here you go.
That's very close. I like it.
Is punishing them. They're down 7%. This is how they're staying tuned. Don't go crazy, man. Just calm down, would you?
Have you seen the memes where the reels or whatever videos where you say something to your wife that's off, whatever, and then they say like he'll skip to "In the Arms of an Angel" RP song, basically there's hilarious, man. All right, awesome, friends. That covers our gap up pretty much, right, Peter? Anything else you have on deck before we move to the gap down?
Well, let's see. There's a couple of other earnings that I was looking at, but are any of them gapping up? How about Colgate Palmolive? They had earnings this morning. I was looking at that.
What's the ticker on that one?
CL.
CL, yeah.
Just they're old school, so CL, trade on the New York Stock Exchange. Beat their numbers. I mean, look, people are always buying toothpaste. So they delivered more revenue and more earnings per share than expected. They don't trade much volume. So, but there's a number of other earnings this morning, but nothing we typically look at. So short answer, I don't have, well, hold on. How about this one? Is this gapping? I think this is gapping down. Yeah. We'll have to cover the other ones on the gap down list.
Yeah, and if you look at the gap down, we already covered one of them. That is INTC. We just spoke about that one. Next, let's jump right to Becky. What is Becky doing this morning? Actually, before we leave INTC, I might put that on my secondary list. Today could actually be better than yesterday, right? So Intel on the secondary list. Let's see what it actually does. This is actually a way better day for them after that big, well, I say big drop. It was like $2, but big for them. And let's see how it does today. Becky on deck this morning. I don't see anything great as of right now. Again, very interesting pre-market activity. I don't see the volume actually here. We are down 5% on this thing. Not a great intraday trader. We have traded it in the past many years back probably. But
we
again,
used to, yeah.
Yeah, won't be on my list.
Look, there was a time, this is a real estate services company out of China. Remember when there was the whole meltdown of Chinese real estate? And everybody was, we were all forecasting the doom of China, and they clearly have sort of recovered from that. But it was a bad period of time that we were looking for this for, its death. Clearly, it's still out there. I'm not something I'd waste my time watching for trading opportunities personally.
Yeah, same here. Next is going to be NVO. So NVO this morning, let's take a look. We are down 3%. They had earnings when? No. What's the issue with this one? No, they had some kind of failure, but I can't recall. Let me not confuse it with something else. But right now they're down 3%, 473,000 shares traded. They can trade well, but they need news. They need some kind of news to drive them. I'm not sure if we have anything big today, Peter, on NVO.
I don't know. Let's see. They just got terrible news today. Blah 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 blah. Looks like they are losing ground. I think. I mean, it just seems to be general news that they are losing ground on the whole weight loss drug. They're diabetes drugs ostensibly, but we all know that they're used primarily with celebrities trying to get thin. And the great thing for them is that once you're on it, you have to stay on it practically forever, or you will lose the gains. Even on it, they find that the value diminishes significantly. So, anyways, just don't. Just if you want to lose weight, man, don't put as much stuff in the pie hole. Or I can tell you, become a runner. As much as it makes you crazy, you definitely lose weight. But anyways. So they've been losing ground. There's been a lot of competitors out there, a lot of new drugs they're competing. Everybody wants a piece of this market. Novo Nordisk had the first one out of the gate, of course, with Ozempic, so they took advantage of that. But now they're getting now they're getting competition. Craggy Rider says thin and crazy. There's if anybody hasn't seen, you just made me think of the Hot Crazy Matrix. If you're a guy, if you're a girl, and you got a good sense of humor, go there. If you're a guy, it's hilarious. Anyways, the Hot Crazy Matrix. He explains how those things are related. Oh, what a classic. Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
I got lots of these today. Don't worry. We'll get to some more.
Awesome. All right, that's it for the gap up and gap down, guys. I mean, not much here. It's very, very quiet. Obviously, we'll be looking at some other ones as well, like our Amazon, POTR. We spoke about. It's not on here. It's going to be on my list as well. So yeah, we'll see what else comes up on this gappers list as we do the show. Peter, as far as anything else on your end that you like, I think you have covered it down as well.
Not yet. I've got a soft spot in my heart for Guild. I still don't know how to say the company. Gilead.
I think Gilead. Yeah.
Gilead. That feels right, but English is a weird language because technically it's G lead. Anyways, whatever it is. Look, they missed on revenue, beat on earnings, lowered their guidance. Then that's what matters. They lowered their guidance. I've got a soft spot because I used to trade this back in like 2018. It was one of the many go-to stocks I had at the time and had some great trades on it, but not for a while. So anyways, they had earnings. And the other one was T-Mobile, TMUS. T-Mobile's the one I wanted to talk about a little bit, only because they beat their numbers in the quarter. They had a good quarter. We've been looking at these telcos, US-based telcos all week as they've all had earnings. They did sort of pull their guidance, saying that there's an uncertain environment with tariffs. People may not be upgrading their phones as much, so they're a little concerned about the forward-looking guidance. That being said, they are the first U.S. telco, I guess, to support or issue the Motorola revamped AI-enabled Razr phone. And I wanted to mention this because the AI Razr phone, as soon as I heard that, my God, I had flashbacks. If you guys don't, for anybody that doesn't know, because this might be before your time, there was a period of time where this was the height of cool, right? This is like American Psycho days, right? But still, I had one of those phones, and that was super cool if you could have one of those phones. So picture in that era, a phone that looks like this coming out. I got to tell you, I was a business executive at the time, and back like 20, 25 years ago, and I desperately wanted a Razr phone. It was super cool. And what helped a lot was they had these cool ads that came out. I don't know if you, Carlos, if you would remember this, but they had these really super cool ads where they were actually accidentally cuts the woman, and so they're using the Razr phone as ninja swords. And
I remember that ad, man. Holy smokes! I remember
this
specific one was big.
I wanted one of those phones. Now, this ad was cool, but I have to admit, while if you were a Wall Street type, and a trader as I was way back then, you had the phone that made you think of Gordon Gekko. But then this phone came out, and frankly, it tapped into a whole different level that I wanted. It went to my geek side, because I don't care what you said. It doesn't matter what the advertising said. This is the cool I wanted, because a flip phone had me convinced that it was going to enable me, or at least give me one step closer to this, to beaming up to the enterprise. I don't care what the ad said. I know how unrealistic that was scientifically. It didn't matter. In my head, if I had a Razr flip phone, I was one call away from being beamed up. That's just the way it worked. So for any of you that were around in that era, tell me if I'm wrong, but I remember distinctly that time. I wanted that phone so bad. So anyways, the fact that they're coming out with a new Razr phone that's AI enabled, it's got screens on both sides. You actually fold it out and it's one giant screen. It's pretty cool, but it's a flip phone.
It's cool. Who's buying it? I mean, you're not getting one.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not getting one. Who's buying it? Like,
yeah,
good
I
luck.
don't know
Good
if
luck to them.
anybody is.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the price point is ever worth it. But yeah, that Razr phone, I'm telling you, back in the day, geez, I wanted one. So anyways, so when I heard that T-Mobile's coming out with the Motorola Razr phone as part of their lineup, I was thinking, cool. Will it affect their numbers? Probably not. So we did this because we were talking about T-Mobile. They're down this morning, a fair amount, 6.5%. This is the type of stock, by the way, that often can sort of just jump up at the open despite the pull down, as maybe longer term investors see a buy opportunity. Be careful if you choose to trade it. I'll probably, for nostalgia's sake, keep an eye on it. But yeah, that's anyways, probably one of the key ones I had for earnings outside of Intel and Google. So.
All right, there we go, man. Thank you so much. Again, either one of those don't like us much. They don't trade very well, so I'm gonna keep them off my list for now. But we are aware of them. I see the comments here. Yeah.
He's saying he's more of a TNG guy. So, hey, look, man, next generation, it's cool. The problem is they didn't have the equipment went actually too high tech. All they had was the button that you hit, right? That was like way ahead of our technology. Tea, Earl Grey, hot. So I wanted to always adjust my shirt and get some tea. Engage. Anyways, Captain, yeah, Picard was absolutely a cooler captain overall, because he wasn't always trying to find the green girl to hook up, But anyways, I just still that flip thing, the old flip communicators they had, I can't help it, because I think it was embedded into me as a youth that if I could just find one of those, there was an Enterprise ship out there waiting for me to be beamed up onto. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
You know what's one business, and we'll do this quick, that never took off with those phones was cases. Like we didn't have this case situation. These phones, they were like titanium. Like I had a BlackBerry. I mean, I could hurt somebody with it. It doesn't matter. Never got a case. It was just awesome. The real first big one, the blue ones that had the little button on the screw on the side. Man, those things were amazing. Now everything needs a case.
Because we went from you got to remember the preceding the whole phone cases that we're used to now. It was all about belt clips. Right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, of course. Everybody had a holster. We all had a holster.
Yeah. You know what? Hold on a second.
Oh, my God. What did I get Peter into? Go, Peter. Go get him.
Look, man. Right here. Look. You don't have to go far. Okay, guys. Look.
Yeah.
So here we go. I've got, look, my belt clip, my belt holster. This I just can't give this away. This is a BlackBerry. Look at this. BlackBerry slide phone with the keyboard hidden underneath. Look at that. Look at that.
Sweet.
It's classic, baby.
Yeah, that's classic. It's in good shape too, man.
I love this one. Yeah, the old torch. Love this phone.
Yeah.
Anyways, I kept it because I don't know what to do with it, but it's still here. Just for show and tell like this occasionally. There you go.
Awesome. All right, friends. We gave you your rants and information on cell phones and T-Mobile and everything. Bring you up to speed. And there's got to be
down history lane there. A little walk down memory lane.
Absolutely. There's got to be someone that's younger than we are, Peter, saying, "What the heck is that? What kind of weapon is that? Is that a minigun? What is that?" Like they're just confused on what they're seeing here. Trust me, that was a time. All right, friends, let's see what you guys like this morning. So far on my list, I have Google, Meta, PLTR, secondary list, Intel. Again, Intel, be very, very careful on what that does. What do you guys like this morning? I'm going to head over to our chat here and see what's going on there. And let's take a look. Cummins, Nokia, just everybody's throwing in what their experience was like with those back in the days phone pagers. Oh my goodness, you're going back
The
now.
old pagers, yeah.
Pagers, yeah. Let's see in our chat. What do you guys like this morning? Let's see.
See,
Yeah, go ahead.
I sort of feel sorry for all of you kids that never lived in that era. When you had one of these on your belt, and you could do you guys don't understand. If you could just do the swipe up, where you unhook the magnetic clasp, pull
Yeah.
the phone out, and then open it just like that in one fell swoop, that felt you were a gunslinger. I don't
Yeah,
care, man.
yeah.
You were a
I
business
love that.
gunslinger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
it was one of those things where you get that move down. I telling you,
Oh, yeah.
it's not
I
the
used to
same
put mine.
nowadays.
I don't know how you did it, but I had mine sideways, so it was just like a whoop. It was sideways. I had it just straight out and
Yeah,
boom right into it. Oh man, I'm telling you, pockets were empty and free, so you got nothing in your pockets, which I loved. Can we bring that back? Can we just get the iPhone to do that? Will I look weird if I start doing that? I'm gonna buy
I
one on
like how
Timo. Yeah.
we're getting all sorts of reactions. I love the hey, leave some of the ladies for the rest of us. Look, man, I was doing this. I still found a beautiful woman to marry me, and somehow I made
Yeah.
it work. But you know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
It was oh yeah, my shirt was always tucked in because you can't
Oh
have an
yeah.
untucked shirt. It would get in the way of the whole swipe
Yeah.
motion, right? Yeah,
Oh
no, it's
man.
yeah.
Beautiful thing,
Anyway.
friends. All right, tickers. Let's take a look at Apple. What's going on with Apple here? Apple this morning. Again, just everything right now is doing what this. Not everything, sorry, but most are doing this. Whatever the overall market is right now, it's pretty flat, right? It's down a little bit. It was green earlier today, just back and forth. There's so much mixed signals from China and the U.S. China said, yeah, we're going to consider bringing tariffs down on certain U.S. imports, from 145, 125. Trump administration said, yeah, we've been talking to China. Then China says this morning, no, we haven't been talking. So it's like just the back and forth. And all we need is for these two parties to say, you know what, our people are suffering and our business because of these tariffs. How about we just call the other person? But nobody wants to make that first call because they want to seem like, no, they came to us or no, we went to them, right? It's childish. It really is on both sides. On both sides. Just make it happen and make everybody else happen. Make the damn call. Be done with it. But no, we rather play this game of chicken. And this is not just this administration, this generation. This goes back, Peter. Like this goes back. Like in history, there's always this situation where no, they got to come to me. No, they got to bless my hand. Like it goes back to like Adam and Eve type days. Like this goes back, right? So it's just ridiculous. You got to figure it out, man. Just figure it out.
Look, you know that there's going to be some difficult positions when the Chinese economic whatever his name is czar comes out and says we've been here for 5,000 years, we'll be here for 5,000 more. Bring it on! Like, man,
Yeah.
to me that's
Yeah.
just a badass comment. They're like, come on, like we
Yeah.
will outlast you. I'm
It's
thinking,
wild.
okay, what
Yeah.
are you going to do now?
The ego, man. The ego is on both
Oh, the
sides is
egos are
just
huge. In any
unbelievable.
event, look, as long as it creates some market volatility, I don't mind.
Yeah.
You baff around, do what you want. It's look,
Yeah.
well, all we can do is watch, anyways, right? So
Absolutely. So we're going into the weekend. I know Trump is going to Rome and he'll be meeting some people there. So it's a lot uncertain what can actually come out this weekend. So today will be interesting at the market open to see how things move. And the markets right now, some stocks are showing you that at the moment. Let's take a look at another one, NVIDIA, because I was waiting for you guys to throw out tickers, but you guys are excited still about phones. I love it. Let's take a look at NVIDIA here. NVIDIA right now pretty flat, 7.6 million. So I haven't not traded NVIDIA a lot lately. We traded maybe once or twice. So I will slam it into our secondary list for now. We can always look at it. Amazon is one that I'd rather have on the list. Amazon can be very explosive here. It has been a couple of times. So I'll put it on my secondary list for now. And we can always change this around depending on what shows up. But anything else, friends, that we could look at?
Tesla.
Oh, yeah, Tesla. I should be looking at Tesla every day. They gave us one of our best trading days this week. So Tesla right now pretty flat, 3.5 million shares traded. Again, nothing really blockbuster about it, Peter, but we got to have it on the list, right? Like, how can we not? Peter, meanwhile, while we've been progressing here, you have anything you like that has come up to you? What's going to be on your list?
I mean, Nvidia is always on my list. I'm going to be watching Nvidia just to see. It's the only one that's green out of all the semiconductors, but I mean, it's green by 5 cents, so it's not that meaningful. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. SMCI this week has, even yesterday, it continued to move quite well. I have to say, as much as I don't get it from a fundamentals. It doesn't matter. It seems to be, getting continued volume. I mean, this thing trades a good 40 million shares a day, so it's trading on average about the same shares as an AMD. So why not?
Which one's that one, Peter?
It's SMCI.
Oh yeah, Mr. Ticker. There we go. Yep, got it.
Yeah. Other than that, and we talked about Google already, of course, so we got that. But yeah, I think we got a good slate of some of the Magnificent Seven and a couple other things to watch. So it's we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, gotta wait and see a little bit here. MSTR has a nice daily, very clean here. Again, intraday they're tough. I saw someone mention this in chat. They're not the easiest thing to trade, but they got a nice clean intraday here for the most part over the last couple of days. Again, Bitcoin has been moving higher, so a lot of these have been seeing a little bit of action. Look at Coin also a couple of really good days here. They've just been overshadowed by other tickers like Tesla, Amazon, PLTR doing so well. So we haven't been really paying attention to them just because other stuff has been moving just as good or even better. All right, friends, let's stop here. Let's give you a rundown of what's happening today on this beautiful Friday. You can always head to bearwoodtraders.com, click on this webinar link right over here. It's going to give you what's happening for the next 2 weeks. Today's Friday, and we'll see what's taking place today.
Indeed. So we've got no evening webinar, but over the course of the day, around noon, as we usually do, we've got 2 different sessions for you. At 11 o'clock, Pierre is going to answer your questions, anything you want about the trading week, the week to come, your trading strategy, specific trades, whatever you got. Pierre will be there to give you a hand. So that's at 11 a.m. for our elite members in the webinar room. And then Mike is going to do his boot camp prep meeting. That's happening at 11. So that's for anybody that's signed up for boot camp. It's a way to get ready for what's coming. Again, boot camp is super intensive. So it's good to understand what's coming. It's good to get ready for it and prep for it. So he's going to deliver that meeting. In fact, he's delivering that. And then I think he's getting on a plane right after and heading off to Europe. So he's should be a good session anyways. And for anybody that's in boot camp, to get access to that one, you need to go to peakcapitaltrading.com. You should have been given a login. You go to the members section and go into the webinar room, and you will it's a Google webinar room, and you will be able to join Mike. That's at noon. Sorry, that's at 11. I keep saying noon. I'm wrong. 11. Oh, it was rescheduled yesterday? Did that already happen? Michael Zed saying that it happened yesterday? Oh, okay. Then I'm wrong. Never mind. Already happened. He's already on a plane. See ya. That's it's funny. I was just reading what I had there, but that seems to match what he told me, actually. Hold on a sec. He did say something about he was doing that and then jumping on a plane. Anyways, okay. Well, then I guess never mind. We just have one thing. 11, Pierre, join. Love it.
Yeah.
Have fun. Okay.
Sweet.
All right. Oh yeah. How about joining us at Peak? Oh my God, it's a Friday, right? You can tell.
It's Friday, baby. Yeah.
Bearable Traders. We have a number of membership options for you. Everything from our intro offer, not listed here, right through the platinum. The platinum is the one that combines the boot camp with 1 year access to the chat room. You can get access to all of the webinars, all of the psychology training and supports. You get the lovely conversations with all of our members in the room, the humor, the good jokes and the bad jokes, the awareness of stocks, the call outs, it's all there, man. You want to be part of a community, whether it's this one or another one, you really do. And if you want to kick the tires, try the intro. If you want to join us, your best deal is the platinum, because you also get that $50,000 funded trading account, which you can get paid out of. You'd actually trade in simulator, but if you end up net positive, Andrew will pay you out, and he has. If you go to our website, you can see we've got pictures of a number of the members that got paid, including Mr. Beach, who got paid $15,000. He was on stage in Vancouver to receive that. So it's real, man. You can get paid real bucks. So it's a great deal. Don't do it for the money. Do it if you want to sort of accelerate your trading journey and learn how to trade for the long term. But money's always nice too. So check it out. Platinum deal, variabletraders.com.
All right, awesome, Peter. Thank you so much. Guys, you're active in chat today. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. We really, really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. And subscribe if it's your first time here. We do this every morning the market is open. We go live right after this. And we also do earnings when earnings season is at its best, like it is now that we are about to get into. Hassan, you got a great question, my friend. So Hassan is asking me, he's asking, how will you respond to people who's accusing BBT of a scam and being pump and dump like other communities? I'll tell you this, I don't know how the heck you're gonna pump and dump Tesla. You need like money. There's no way you can pump and dump Tesla. Matter of fact, the stuff that you can pump and dump, we tell you not to trade, right? These low flow stocks, man. This is why we tell you not to trade that stuff. That stuff is scary. And again, one person can move that around left or right without blinking, right? You can't pump and dump Tesla. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't pump and dump NVIDIA. You can't do it with Google. You can't. So communities that are trading only low flow stocks, be careful. And don't get me wrong, there are some communities out there that are actually really legit communities that trade low flow stocks. They're very good.
Yep.
But what happens is when you're in a business where it is so difficult and only a few people make it, 90% fail, what do you think is going to happen? People are going to say, "Oh, it's a scam." That's any business. I remember, giving a quick story. We had a couple of minutes here. I did this. If you guys remember these real estate gigs where you go to show you how to do real estate, how to flip houses, and they'll wine you and dine you, and you pay a nice fee, and you're there for like 3 days. They'll show you everything. They'll walk you around. So me and my brother did this thing. We're like, oh man, we're all hyped, we're all pumped. We came back home. They gave us the list of stuff we had to do to start looking for these houses to flip. Okay. We found online, people were, oh, this is a scam, this and that. And then we didn't succeed. So we thought, man, that was a scam. They took our money. And then we started seeing other people that did succeed. What did they do? They did the work. They did the work that me and my brother did not do. And we were very young at this time. We didn't have the time to do it. And they did the work. They really put in the work. And then when we looked what they did, and we talked to them, a few people that we found locally actually, and they're like, yeah, I started with these guys. Like, oh, no way, I started with them too, but we never happened. Like, how did you do it? When they told us what they did, we're like, yeah, there was no way we were going to succeed because we didn't put the work in. So that's how you have to look at it. Now it's a tough business. Don't get me wrong. This is a hard business. There's going to be more failures than success, especially because people don't want to put the work sometimes, right? So that's my response to it.
There you go. Hey, look, let me also share some data here just to give you guys some confidence. Because, look, there's a lot of that rumor. And sometimes it's individuals that, have not had the greatest experience. And unfortunately, that happens. I have been doing a survey in our chat room for 7 years now. When did I start this survey? So let me just share a screen here, and I'll share. Look, this is the data. This is non-scientific. I'll grant you that, right? It's a voluntary survey. I just asked people, were you trading simulator? Were you trading live? Are you green or red? Really, it's very simple. That's all I ask. I've been doing this since 2021. So sorry, 4 years. But we have done this survey 828 times. And over the 828 times, I can tell you that, the averages are all pretty close. There's not wild variations. So you can lie to me once, you can lie to me twice. It's harder for, hundreds of people to lie to me 828 times, right, over the course of 4 years. And I can tell you that our users in our chat room, 44% of them are trading live and are green on average. 28% are red and are trading live. 10% in simulator are green, and 6% in simulator are trading are red. And then there's about 12% that always say they're just watching. They're not actively trading. They're just, building their experience. They're watching the market, and that's good. I like to see that number. And you can see that there's, I've got the data. We've done this. I said 828 times. So, that to me, that's pretty good. It's not 80% that are green. Absolutely not. It's not reasonable to expect that. But, to me, that gives me some confidence that we're doing the right thing. And on any given day, it's not the same people that are always green, of course, right? So, that's what happens. You may be having a bad day where others are having their best day ever, or vice versa. That's just the reality of trading and how it goes. So, a lot of faith in our members. We got a great community here, and people that are trading and help each other out when the days are bad, right? Sometimes it's good to know you're not alone. And when the days are good, it's good to remember, right? Enjoy it while it lasts. Don't get too full of yourself. Don't think I figured out this trading, because there's a red day coming. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, friends. All right, awesome, guys. Let's get into some levels. I think we're getting pretty close here to the market open, but in about 14 minutes. So let's start here. Let's start with Google. That's the first one on my list today. Google this morning. We had earnings last night. Let's take a look at what the daily looks like here. High of the pre-market right now, we're going to slam it over at 168.92. So we'll take that there, 168.90 to be exact. And the low I'm showing 164.05. So once you do that, you got our highs and lows there for the pre-market today. Towards the bottom, there is a nice area right over here. Take a look at this one, 161.72. 161.72. You can see how much action we have here, back and forth, support and resistance. So that's great. You want to slam one there, and then below that, your automatic levels on that should take care of your highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Question in chat, someone's asking me, how come triangles disappeared the next day? Yeah, that does not keep your history of your swing trades triangles. On the P&L, it'll show there, but it's not going to keep the triangles on the chart like a think or swim does, right? So yeah, you're not going to see it, unfortunately. So that's why. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just the way the system works, right? They don't keep track of all the history of your trade, your previous trades, which is why the platform can run a lot cleaner and more lightweight than these other heavier platforms that have richer features, right? Like that one, like that's a memory feature that's going to require some processing. This is not going to give you that, right? So because it's going to focus on their focus is day trading. Their focus is getting your executions quickly and fast, and also be very reliable. The more features you tag onto this thing, the more it's going to slow it down, and that's what they don't want, that, right? They want to keep it nice and light. So here above the pre-market highs, actually before we get above the pre-market highs, right in here, 166.50, right in the middle, smack in the middle of it. There are some days slamming into that, so we're gonna slam that 166.50. That's a good one there. Then above the pre-market highs, now we do have an area 171, and then all the way up here 174.94 looks pretty good. All right, next is going to be our good buddy Meta here doing some stuff. They can trade very well. Maybe today could be their day. Almost a million shares traded so far. And again, for them, everything really comes in after the market open. Their pre-market action, I don't put a lot of weight on. We've seen their pre-market action be pretty bad, and their intraday action be amazing. So just keep that in mind. Again, they're a NASDAQ stock, but their pre-market reminds me of like a NYSE stock, right? Where there's just not a whole lot going on into the market open. 574 towards the top, another big level at 595. Again, that would be a stretch, but we'll have it there just in case things get going this morning. My thoughts is we're going to struggle a little bit today as far as the direction, because just all the uncertainty going into this weekend, and we know Trump and his administration are going to Europe and meeting with some people. Who knows what can come out of that? I have the pre-market 109.97 on PLTR now. Again, this stock, someone said they hate this stock in chat. I love this stock. This stock has treated us very, very well in the last 2 weeks. Here, high of the pre-market 110 to be exact. The bottom is slamming into our previous day close, and then below that, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days are there for you. So again, we just look at the range in the last since the beginning of the year. Down to 165, up to 120-ish area, back down to 75, 65 again, and then now back up to 107. I mean, talk about volatility and movement. This stock is it. Above the pre-market highs, we are looking. I don't see a very clear defined level here. Besides this one, this is the big level that's very clear. This 116.97 in here. In this area, I don't see anything that's clear. So I'm just going to leave it blank for now. Usually when that happens, you can go back into these days and try to find an area. There is maybe something here. Minor level of support and resistance, 112.22. But as I was mentioning, you can go back here and look at the intraday and see if there's anything happening, or just keep in mind the whole dollar levels are going to be important, right? So psychological levels can come into play when you don't have a very clear level based on data, right? Based on fundamentals on the charts. All right, that is PLTR. What else we have? Last but not least, it's going to be Amazon. And as we take a look here, Amazon this morning, we are High of the pre-market 190.19, so we'll slam it there towards the bottom. Low of the pre-market is pretty much the previous day close, so you're kind of set there. Don't have to really add anything. If we look lower, we're gonna have some levels at around a 183.43 in case we do drop, and then below that more highs and lows for the last two trading days. Towards the top this morning, big level at a 195.56. And when I say big level, for those who are joining us new or are just new traders, I'm talking about this a lot of touches, right? So when you have a lot of days opening, closing, slamming into this, pulling back from that level, as you see here, usually that's a big important level. 195.56 seems to have that on this chart, so definitely going to slam that there. There's another one in here as well where you got a lot happening. 192.71. Once again, if you draw a line here, you can see how many wicks are slamming themselves into that 182.71, either bouncing back from it, finding support, finding resistance. The more touches you have on a level, the stronger that level is going to be. And the likelihood is that even today, going into that level, you might have some of that happening as well in the intraday if we do get to those. All right, Peter, I think we're set. Google, Meta, PLTR, Amazon. What is our team watching over in chat? Oh, Peter, I see your lips moving, but I don't hear you.
I'm on mute.
There you go.
Sorry about that. BT was mentioning that they're. Oh my goodness! Hold on. Sorry about that.
Oh, good, man.
That his trend lines, his lines disappear every day. I just wanted to mention that if you go into, you want to see if there's a global setting here, but if you go into a chart and right click, you want to go to the settings area here, and let me just go into configure. In the configuration menu, there is something called, I'm not showing you guys. Hold on a sec. Ta-da. Here. In the chart configuration menu, if you're a DAS user, in here there is something called the trend line settings and default global trend line and auto load saved trend lines. Make sure those are checked. You want those checked, save your platform, exit, re-enter. Then any line, any level you set should be saved, and it'll save them forever. If it's not a default global trend line, it just considers it a local one, and you're right, it probably won't save it. Once I set that, you always forget about that because most of us had set up our platforms years ago. You do it once and never have to do it again. So there you go. If you haven't done that, that could be why all of your trend lines and stuff are disappearing. If you do set that, then they'll hang around for as long as you want them to, maybe even longer. All right. So that being said, back to what our moderators are watching. What do we got? We got about 6.5 minutes here to the open. Start with Lenny, always in with a big list. Lenny's going to be watching Google, Apple, Intel, NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, PLTR, Mara, MSTR, and ABBV, which is another one that had earnings that I didn't really talk about today. So he's got a lot to watch here. Avi is going to be watching Apple, AMD, Tesla, and NVIDIA. Brendan watching NVIDIA, AMD, PLTR, Tesla, and Google. Pierre is going to be watching PLTR, Tesla, NVIDIA, and Google. So you see a lot of commonality here. Brian, guess what? He's watching Google, Tesla, NVIDIA, and PLTR. I am watching a lot of the same. I add T-Mobile to my list and Intel just to see what they're doing. Andrew's here. He's going to be watching Meta, Apple, Google, Tesla, and PLTR. I've got a couple of IPOs and SPACs to let you know about when they open. Eamon's not loving a lot. Phil's going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, PLTR, Google, and then the market indices overall. So we've got a lot of opportunities, targets out there, despite the fact that it's a lower volume day. It feels a little quieter. So you got to be careful. People are asking me, are you going to be trading the open? Well, if I find something at the open, I'm going to do my best to trade it, trying to ramp up my open trading. There we go. There's my 5-minute alarm. And Zen, yes, I have noticed that there's not as many mountain passes. That's typical in this type of market. I'm not really that surprised. They come and go. The best market for the mountain passes is when you do not have a directional market and there's frankly not a lot of strong news. You know, when we just get these days where you get good volume, good activity, where things sort of move aggressively at the open, but then retrace because they're not directionally driven by any specific news up or down. Being that we're in a news uncertainty cycle, you don't get those free flowing patterns and the bigger patterns. So again, it's, I'll wait it out. Don't worry. They'll be back. I have confidence. In the meantime, trade smart, everybody. We're going to hand the chat room back to the chat room and let Andrew and Brian take over there. Carlos and I are going to continue here on YouTube, trade live through the open with you, and then we'll bring our friends in as we continue this morning right through the noon hour. So,
yeah, absolutely, guys. All right, excellent. All right, we are disconnected from our chat. I'm going to mute that over here, and we are set to go. All right, excellent, guys. Get ready for the market open. About 4 minutes. We're going to go our charts, get our 5 minute, get our 1 minute, bring a couple of changes here, and there we go. We'll be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm switching over my platform here too, opening my trading configuration.
There it is.
There we go.
We got the 1 minute up. Perfect. All right, so Google, let's take a look, run through what I'm watching this morning. So Google's on deck here. We'll see how that does. POTR has been, again, just very explosive in the trading. So I love this ticker. Amazon, not doing a whole lot, just up slightly. And then Meta got a little bit of action, up 3%, similar to Google as well. Again, probably just based on ads and yeah, that looks good. Secondary list, I got Intel down 7.7. I have it here. I probably won't trade it. I mean, it's on deck, but I'm probably not going to trade. I want to be cautious with this one. But if there is any day where they're going to trade, well, today after earnings, it is the time, right? So we'll see. And then of course Nvidia. Oh, I like Nvidia. Look at Nvidia lately in the last couple of minutes here, Peter. We are getting some kind of action. Let's move Nvidia back up to the primary list. We'll look at Nvidia here. Yeah, Nvidia, you caught our interest here. You definitely caught our interest. So Nvidia.
Tesla's also had a strong move back up to VWAP in the last couple of minutes.
Man, oh man, did I not put Tesla on the list? There's so much to watch. I don't have Tesla on my list. Oh my goodness.
Shame. For shame.
Shame. Gonna put it on the secondary. It's just so many. I can't watch them all today. But Tesla's got to be on here, even on a secondary, and we'll still cycle through it and see what we can get there. Yeah, because I moved it up to the main list. That's why it's on here twice. So we'll take it off from the bottom list. There it is. Man, this list looks good. I'm gonna reshuffle a little bit here, guys. Bear with me. I'm gonna move Meta down. And I'm going to replace it with Tesla. I'm sorry, Meta, but that's just the way it goes. She almost had a spot there, but just the way it goes. Tesla has pushed you aside. All right. Good. Starting to get a little bit exciting here on some of these tickers, friends. Google, specifically Nvidia and Tesla are doing some stuff. So let's see where it goes.
No. All right.
There's our alarm. Minute to the market open.
Win it.
Yeah. Let's see who's going to deliver today. All right, just checking. I feel like I'm missing something else. What else am I missing? Okay. Can't think of it. So probably missing. Guys, thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Really appreciate it. How many likes we have today? You guys have been very active in chat. It's great when you guys are active. When I see all those comments, it's awesome. Can't read through all of them. I tried, but it's amazing to see. Yeah, I try to respond as much as I can during the conversation with you guys, but this is great. Just happened to see us on YouTube. Welcome to the party.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're getting ready for the open. Here we go. And hey, where's my opening bell? Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding. We'll do it manually.
Ding, ding. I have to. Yeah. I don't know what happened.
All right, there it is.
I can manually set it off here, but what the heck? That's late. I don't know why I didn't ring. All right, guys. Well, let's see what happens. Tesla moving up, Nvidia moving down, markets moving up. Doesn't mean much. We're only 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
Apple.
All right, friends. As usual, quiet start for me. Waiting at least 3 minutes. I never trade prior to 3 minutes, no matter what's happening. It could be the best thing ever. Data has shown I don't make money 3 minutes into the market. So we can't keep making the same mistake over and over again. So we're going to wait for a setup, then we'll look to see what's near the V up for a possible breakout, and then we'll check for potential 5-minute ORBs, at least for the first couple of minutes here. So looking around POTR, seeing some movements. This is good. Going down, says Raytrix. I'm not sure what is in store for us today. It can really go either way, and a lot of these tickers are set up to go either way. So let's see here. Let's see. Nice little drop on POTR. POTR showing some weakness. Amazon not really getting the volume yet, so maybe it's in a little bit. We'll come back to that. Meta, not great. So right now in NVIDIA, POTR.
Tesla retrace. Darn it.
Yeah.
NVIDIA. I was going to short NVIDIA when it came back up to VWAP,
Yeah.
but your 3-minute was
No,
hanging in my head. I'm like,
man, don't let me mess you up.
No.
Yeah.
Make my own decisions.
Of course.
It was a little hard. I also saw some orders on the ask side, which I wasn't sure if I was going to go get, but clearly the answer is no.
Yep. Yeah, I'm used to seeing these moves go and be like, oh man, but when I tried to trade within 3 minutes, it just doesn't work. So it took a while for me to get used to not letting moves like this, where you could literally be done for the day in like the first 2 minutes of the market open, get to me. Like that. It was tough at first. Yeah.
It's a good point, and it's one of the things I always remind myself. Like look at the chart you got on there for NVIDIA right now. If you look at that chart, this looks like a massive move on NVIDIA. Look how big that is compared to the range it was moving pre-market. I promise you, come at 10:30, 11 o'clock, that's going to look like a tiny, tiny little move. So I always remind myself the big moves actually happen later in the day. They just look massive at the beginning, just starting the day, and they fill your chart. But later on, right, I promise you, that's going to look tiny.
Yeah, so. It's a great point, yeah. Because you compared it to a place where we had probably no volatility and no action. So all this volume, the volume bars at the bottom growing, everything just looks bigger. But you're right. Great point.
One of the charts I like to keep on my screen is I keep a 2-minute chart where I exclude pre-market data. And let's see, can I... well, let's show you a chart. NVIDIA here. Let me just do a data config, and let's eliminate pre-market. And it's one of these things where when you do that, you gotta look at this. Look at this. I'll share this with you here. I know my charts are black. People don't always like that, but here's what the move looks like. Without the pre-market. So when you compare this move to yesterday, it doesn't look that big, right? We're sort of in, we're in the bounds, I guess, of what happened yesterday in this movement. Whereas if you just look at that with the pre-market data, so let's look at NVIDIA here at the bottom. When you look at it with the pre-market data, which is the one I'm trying to get here up at the bottom, this move looks so much bigger, right? Because the pre-market was so flat. So, it's one of those you got to keep in mind the relative scale of what you're doing. That's why I like to keep the one chart without pre-market data. It just reminds me within the scale of yesterday, not that much. So, food for thought if you need that same reminder.
Absolutely. Wow, NVIDIA just swinging the other way, Peter. Look at this. This is just wild. So, all right, we're coming up on the 5-minute mark. If NVIDIA can get a pullback to VWAP and this move is for real, we can go long here for a good 5-minute ORB. But we need to confirm, is this really happening, right? And if it doesn't, it might leave without us. That's okay. We'll find something else. But, everything's about quality over quantity, guys, 100%. And then once you have that quality over quantity, you can increase your size. You can make more money by increasing your size, not by taking more trades. I always tell my mentees that, right? But it looks good. We just need a better risk reward. So you got to come down and get us, NVIDIA. Come on. Come and pick us up, and we'll join your party.
Come and get me, baby.
Yes. Come down to 106.70. and we can join there. Although right here it looks decent. On the 5 minute looks great. The 1 minute, not so much. We're gonna go, guys. I think we're not gonna get a better opportunity. So we're going here. Stop is gonna be 106.60. So it's a little bit wider than what I would like, but I think the 5 minute candles look great on this thing. So let's see if we can get it going. All right, so that's NVIDIA. Let's see if we can put some strength and push up here, and we'll see what else is on deck this morning. Let's see. Better entry would have been down here, like this right here. Anywhere here would have been just perfect, but that's not what's. It's not the way this thing worked out today, unfortunately. All right, let's see if we can get the breakout. What else was moving aggressive? Tesla. Tesla was moving pretty good. A little messy right now. All right, NVIDIA's trying to go. Was Intel up to this morning? Garbage. Garbage. Let's see if we can get the push we need here. Looking at the 5 minute, what kind of made me get into this trade too was the way how good this buying pressure looks, Peter. Look at that is great buying pressure. I will never take this as a short for a 5 minute ORB because of this wick here, but I will take it as a long, absolutely. So see if we can get going.
I joined you in this, Carlos. So
okay, let's do it.
Let's
do it.
We'll see how it works. I think I waited a little bit, so I maybe got in a few cents better than you, but not by much.
Okay, that's all good.
I'm going to be pretty aggressive on my stop. I'm not as much of a risk taker as you are to let it ride. So
yeah,
put my stop at break even at this point.
Oh, and, very nice.
So
we need a little bit more to get the 1R, but I just don't think we might not get a great run because our entry is pretty high up here. So let's see if we can get something going here.
I took a little bit of a partial there as we hit that level, which allowed me to move my stop to break even.
Okay, nice.
Paid for the commissions, so that's good. We're in a no-risk situation from my point of view, so...
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, paying the commission, I always tell people, will you go to the ATM and pay a dollar fee to make $20? Yes, I would. Every time. Make 40, 10, 15, whatever your partial is. You pay it every time. So, because at first, it's very easy to put a lot of weight on the commissions, and it could deter the way you trade here. So, all right, we're pulling back here. Hopefully, you don't hit your break even, Peter.
I hope not.
Let's hang in here. Let's hope that the
SPY. Close, though.
Yeah, no, come on. Don't stop Peter out. We need to go. We need to go higher.
107.17. That's my break even. So, well, technically, apparently my average cost is 107.16.9 cents, but 107.
Oh yeah, you got it. I'm at 107.26. So you got slightly better than me, yeah. How do I calculate my risk reward? I kind of do it in my head a little bit now. So I just look at the price quickly, and just think, okay, do I need to go with this hockey, with this amount of shares, that hockey with that amount of shares? Takes a while to do that. I recommend people use the hockey function, equalize risk. What's it? I forget the actual name. Equalize risk advanced hockeys that we have for DAS. They're awesome. They're really, really good. So I highly recommend you do that at first, and then you figure out whatever works for you. You know, there's so many. The trade management part of trading, there's so many different ways you could do it, and you could be right. You know, because it all depends on what you could do. You know, going forward. So let's see here. All right, NVIDIA. Let's push, baby. Let's push. China, call US. Let's make a deal here. Let's make a deal.
Yeah, it's struggling to get up through this level. 107.50 seems to be where they're holding it, just underneath. So if we can break through that again, I think we're good for 108. But
Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of hoping for. But the longer we stay here, the higher
Yeah.
chances that it's going to drop. But I'm
I
hoping
mean,
we can get some kind of push.
there's good orders. It's got to break through here because there's orders at 107.70, 107.80,
Yeah,
yeah, 108. So, but it can't get up to touch them yet.
struggling.
So, market pushing down now is not helping.
No,
Come on,
it's
market.
really not. Really not. Let's see. Um, our stop 106. I'll move it up now. 106.88. I'll move it up a little bit higher towards the VWAP. But if we can hold, might be time to get out and then rejoin a little bit later. But let's see. 106.88 is my stop. We'll move it up a little bit more since the VWAP is moving higher. We lose the VWAP now. There's no point in being in this trade. So
Yeah, just hit my break even, so I'm out. Unfortunately, that's
yeah, yeah.
disappointing. Oh well.
Walden says you have to cut Nvidia. Yeah, absolutely. If you get your stop, cut it, man. Follow your plan. Follow your plan, right? So if Nvidia is something you have to cut, cut it. You know. This is why when you guys hear me say, "Hey, I don't train the first 3 minutes," again, that's for me. It's not for you, right? You have to make sure you follow your plan. Because I did that too. I mean, I've been doing this thing for so long. I did the same thing too. And Andrew used to be like, I used to build my watch list nice and neat. And I'm like, oh man, my list is perfect. And Andrew would come on and say, this is garbage, that is garbage. And I'm just like, I spent 30 minutes picking these stocks that I love. I think I have an opportunity. But, the presence of somebody else that knows a lot more than you've been doing for so long can weigh heavy on you as a new trader. So,
Sure.
believe in your process and just, stick to it. Stick to it.
He's also evaluating on a different, using probably a different analysis scheme.
Yeah.
Right? His strategy is
Right.
different. So you have to remember that. Like I have literally been in trades in the opposite direction of Andrew, and we've both made money
Very
because
true.
he's trading momentum over the short term, and I'm trading the bigger move.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird. Like he just made money on the long side while I was short the thing the whole time. So
Yeah.
and
Yep.
so it can happen.
Very true. Very true. Your focus on MSTR. Let's take a look. I don't really like MSTR for me, the way I trade, but I'll take a look at MSTR here. Yes, I mean, it looks like an NVIDIA to me. NVIDIA looks exactly the same, especially on the 5 minute. This just has way less volume, right? So, and the spread on that is pretty wide, so you got to be careful here on MSTR. All right, our stop loss is VWAP. We'll get out there. I moved my stop up a little bit higher than the 160, 106 earlier I had. So we'll get out if we hit the VWAP. And then we can always rejoin if the market comes back here. I like the fact the market sold off quite a bit, but NVIDIA hasn't really sold off as much. So a SPY going red here. Let's see how that holds. Tesla is looking to go higher. So Tesla, no, maybe. Maybe.
People love this line. Mental game in the chat room saying, no crying in the casino.
No crying in the casino, friends. Absolutely.
Yeah. Where did that come
Absolutely.
from? I know it was an Andrew thing.
It was Warren Buffett. It was in his. Andrew mentioned that it was in his annual letter.
Okay.
I think that's where I heard it from. But guys, in chat, correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe that's where it came from. All right, here we go, friends. Let's get a pop if we can. A nice recovery here would be nice if the SPY can go green, but the SPY is feeling a little weakish. POTR engulfing, let me check. POTR, not a complete engulfing on the 5, but it is looking strong. Like it looks like a breakout. There it is. It does look like a breakout, but not an engulfing though. Not an engulfing on the 5 minute at least. Wow, that is beautiful. That's a beautiful breakout. Let's see if it can hold. Hopefully you guys took this one right above the previous day close as well. Hopefully you took it, man. That looks awesome. All right, it's so funny. This market is just like a headline away from just completely going bananas, right? We just need the right headline and confirmation of that headline, and we can really get things going here. But POTR, we're still in NVIDIA, but let's see if POTR has an opportunity here for us. We can't expect it to run great every single day, right? It's giving some really great days already. Let's see. It's pulling back a little bit here. And NVIDIA trade still at 107, so we're good there. Let's see if we can hold and head higher. SPY coming back down to the previous day close is not good. That was like a pullback to go lower almost. So that's not good. All right, let's get out of our NVIDIA because I think we're going to go lower here. So here's our, yeah, let's go. Let's get out of this. Are we going lower? Yeah, we are. Okay, so out of NVIDIA, guys, SPY is selling down pretty nicely here. So let's see where this is going to go. POTR selling back down. Yeah, the market's kind of, oh, it's Amazon. Okay, there it is. NVIDIA, I think NVIDIA is still going to be along later. It looks strong. What about Google? What did Google? Oh, nothing. This is really not great trading. So messy, up and down, a lot of back and forth, no real direction. Every candle overlapping the previous one. That's hard to trade. NVIDIA looks so clean. Look at these candles. This looks really clean. I think this will be the trade for today once it sets up. This is trading very, very clean compared to some other messy stuff. Risk to reward was 1 to 5. You risk 1 to make 5. That is awesome, man. Great job. Apple's still strong. I just can't watch everything. Apple's not even on our list. Let's take a look at Apple. Yeah, above the previous day close. You know, Peter, you mentioned this a lot. Apple could be that outlier that can trade very well. So we just gotta watch it here. It's doing opposite of what the market is doing here. All right, let's see. Oh wait, Peter, we can't hear you. You've been talking?
Oh, I'm on. No, sorry.
You're on mute. Sorry, if I was talking over you, it was not on purpose. We couldn't hear you.
No. I wasn't. I was trying to track down the origin of this "no crying in the casino" statement.
Yeah.
I don't think Buffett just said that the markets are more casino-like these days, but I don't think he said it. There was a fake post apparently by Trump that said "no crying in the casino," but apparently that wasn't real. He didn't actually.
That wasn't real. Yeah.
It was a parody account. But apparently there is a quote from a poker guy. I'm going to get his last name wrong, but Chamath Palihapitiya. Anyways, he's a multi-million-dollar winner poker player, and he did say "no crying in the casino."
So that's probably where they got it from.
Apparently, I think so. I think it's just a one of those quotes that sort of has those life of its own, right?
Catchy.
But who knows where Andrew heard it? But anyways. Yeah. It's funny. It's just it's a good tagline. It doesn't really matter where it came from, right?
Right. We'll put when someone asks us who's that from, we'll put unknown, unconfirmed.
Yeah,
unconfirmed. All right. POTR.
Oh no.
POTR. I think POTR and NVIDIA are going to give us a good trade here, but we have to wait. Everything seems to be selling down a little bit. Not everything, but most things are selling down. Like Amazon. Look at the breakdown of Amazon below the previous day close. Let's see here. Same thing with Google going down. Let's check. Let me check my my news sources. What do we have going on? Forgot to pull up the news here and see if there's anything that's moving things today around.
Yeah, I'm glad I got out of NVIDIA when I did. So my trade looks pretty wimpy, but that's okay. It's
yeah. Ooh, things are selling down pretty nicely.
Wow, SMCI looks ugly, ugly, ugly. AMD's settled into a range as well. Yeah, it is a Friday, unfortunately. I don't know what we're gonna get this summer. Normally, summer over the summer months, the volumes slow down, and you get typical market profile would be you get
Yeah,
lower volatility and things don't move as much until they do. And then you get these
yeah,
days where you have these absolutely amazing days, but you've got to be so patient and wait for them because you just never know when they're going to happen. That's typical summer sort of trading. And I love the summer because, if you're here all the time, then you've got a better chance of being able to take advantage of that. The problem is if you just show up for the open, you can be very disappointed because, on any given day, it doesn't move as much as it does the rest of the year. But who knows?
yeah,
I mean, that profile did not hold in the first Trump administration because, of course, the whole market was always waiting with bated breath for the next tweet. We seem to have moved off of the tweets a little bit, but we're still waiting for the next news announcement, however it comes out. Still often through some sort of social media, but still, it's. I feel like the market's adapted a little bit, right?
yeah, yeah. Facian, what did you do, man? Sorry to hear that. So he says he's angered himself because he messed up his trade in panic. So I wonder what you did. Happens. We all been there. Meta and Google just seem to be dropping a lot, man. Like everything else is not dropping as much. These two are driving the charge here. What's the deal? They don't believe Meta's earnings. Microsoft, same thing. All right, so it's no more than just Meta. It's a lot of the Max 7s are just moving short here. Went short instead of long. Oh, you did a hockey error. Oh, yeah, that hurts. That hurts if you did a hockey error. Or, yeah, I mean, that's probably the only way you could do it is a hockey error. POTR is messy above the VWAP. I have a feeling POTR wants to go. It really does. It's not selling down with the market. It's trading outside of the market, whatever the market is doing, and it's trying to hold here. A good entry, I think, for me would be anywhere here, just slightly close to the VWAP, close to the previous day close. But it is messy as far as how choppy it is. Like, this is not clean at all. But it has that breakout DNA in it. Oh yeah, see that's where they're. Yeah, gotta be careful, right? You don't want to wipe out your gains for the week on bad trading, because we had a great week. So you definitely want to. Again, this is all you have to do, guys. Just I make it sound easy, but it's not. Just get out. Just don't hold on to losers. Set your risk where it needs to be. Jump out. We're gonna have winning trades. We're gonna have winning trades, and they're gonna be good winning trades. But just gotta control the bad trades. That's all it is. Gotta control the losers. But we're gonna get winning trades. It's gonna happen.
Yep. Yep.
INTC, Nvidia. You know what? I'm having a hard time believing this sell-off. Like I don't know why, but I'm having a hard time believing in this sell-off here. Peter, you're a short trader more than long. What's your thoughts, man? I'm not trusting in the short opportunities here.
No, well,
I don't know why. It's not coming
well, I'm a
naturally.
short bias trader, but
Yeah,
usually I like to see strong early momentum to get the short trade. And I'm
yeah,
not seeing strong early momentum in either direction, right? Like this is a chop fest.
yeah, yeah,
Which said, unfortunately, it's Friday. I'm not too surprised by that. Said I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
yeah. And yeah, STG 710. Yeah, and not that I'm trying to make sense of it, because again, we can try to make sense of the market. The market is irrational, more than rational at times. But even like, let's take a great example here, right? Look at this short. This is usually my setup to go short here. That's what I look for, right? You guys know this. You've been seeing me train long enough. We look for the breakthrough on the VWAP, the pullback, and this is usually my entry short. And I'm seeing this. I'm like, I don't want to go short here. I
Yeah.
don't
See, I
want to
wish
go short on that one.
looking back, Carlos, I think we missed an opportunity. Like, had we been watching Meta, for example, Meta's like the
Yeah,
best of them, but it's easy
yeah,
in hindsight to pick out the best of them, right? So,
right,
but
right.
if you look at Meta, look how many times it just could not break through the VWAP. There was a good short, even if you waited, sort of did that inverse ABCD, waited for it to
Yeah.
break down a little bit. Could have gone short about 936, 937, and
Mm-hmm.
ridden
Mm-hmm.
this thing down. Again, easy in hindsight. I didn't see it. So, yeah,
Yep.
I wasn't there for the ride. I was busy watching the NVIDIA trade that we were in about that same time. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm struggling. Usually I'm not like that when it comes to going long or short. Um, but yeah. Let's see here. Nvidia looking good. Amazon, BOTR, it's got that breakout potential, but you got to have a good entry. But yeah, this thing is moving 80 cents to a dollar from the previous day close to the high of the day. So
seems
it's moving.
the chat room is having a rough day too. They were asking for jokes. I was just sharing a joke in the chat room while we were here. So,
Yeah, you share one of those dad jokes.
you
Yeah.
bet. Actually, it was one that was given to me by a member, because when we were doing the live thing in Vancouver, part of my shtick was I had all sorts of jokes going, and people would come up to me afterwards and say, "I got a joke for you. I got a joke for you." So
They
I
wanted
wrote
your
a couple
approval.
down.
They want the dad jokes approval. I love it.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. Great.
Yeah, yeah.
So you want a joke, Carlos? I can share the same joke here with our friends
Yeah,
on YouTube.
share it here, man. While
All
we wait
right.
for something to happen.
Yeah, Carlos, why did the hipster burn his tongue on his coffee? Why did the hipster burn his tongue on his coffee?
Hipster. Wow. I blanks.
Because he drank it before it was cool.
Wow, I would have never got that.
There you go.
I would
There you
have
go.
never
Well done, Paul.
because he drank it before it was cool. Oh,
There
there
you
we
go.
go.
Hipster. Yeah. All right. There
Thoughts,
you go.
guys? How dad
What
joke?
up?
No dad joke? Good joke? What do you guys think about that one? Put your vote in. In chat.
Uh, Trading question for Mohammed. Mohammed saying, "Do you benefit from watching the market early, even though your strategy takes place in the afternoon?" I would say, I would say afternoon. Afternoon? What the hell? I would say yes, yes, absolutely. Because I get a feel for how the market's moving. Right? Is it aggressive? Is it slow? What does the order flow look like? Right? I do get a feel for that a little bit. So, like right now, I'm thinking, the market feel is telling me we're not moving with any aggression. There's a couple of things that got moves, like Baba had a good move up off the open, Meta moved downwards off the open, but largely a lot of the stocks feel fairly quiet today. I'm looking at average volume on things. Apple, Amazon volumes are 40-50%. Overall market volumes are 40-50%. So this is giving me a feel that I'm going to be extra cautious looking for my signature setups, because I'm not seeing a lot of volume and a lot of momentum. So yeah, it just gives me a feel for the market, and it tells me how, actively should I be taking trades. Right now I would say I need a perfect setup, because I don't fully trust this market. I want to see an ideal configuration. If I had a very active market, right, with high volume, or a lot of stuff was moving directionally, then I might be willing to take a setup that is less mature, what I might call a B or C type setup, right, rather your A setup, because I know that I've got a better profile. Now that could change, but right now that's my feel for the market. So I do find that it gives me sort of a little bit of, and it's not active, right? It just sort of sits in the back of my head until you've asked me to talk about it. Then I sort of realize that's the processing I'm doing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
We got some numbers that probably came out, right? Because we've seen the market react.
10 o'clock
Yeah.
was the only economic data point that we were looking for today, which is this here. I'm just calling it up here right now, which was the consumer sentiment. Consumer sentiment number actually slightly more positive than expected. 50.8. This is a relative scale. 50.8 was the expectation. Came out at 52.2. So a little bit of positivity, I guess, on the consumer sentiment number that just came out.
Awesome. All right, I'm thinking Nvidia long, man. I think this stock is I like the way it's trading today. But again, I'm missing the best entry down here. SPY is, wow, SPY is on it right now. So I get a pullback on Nvidia here. I might go long on Nvidia. So I just want a better entry.
Yeah, that entry right at VWAP might have been a decent one.
Yeah, it's. I was thinking about it, but I didn't get in because I wanted the reaction of this, whatever's taking place, to kind of, happen and then die down. Because you don't want to get in, and people are still looking at the reaction, then you get slammed to the downside. Right? It can happen both ways, and we've seen this where we have an initial reaction which just goes up, and then boom, you slam back down. So I wanted to kind of let that pass a little bit, give it a couple of seconds.
Right.
And it did, but we'll see. Walden, you're crushing on Nvidia. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I love these VWAP breakouts, man. I really do. It's my 5-minute RB, which the first trade we took was a 5-minute RB, and then now I love these breakouts, man. I really, really do. So let's see who has a better risk to reward. Amazon. Amazon could be interesting here. And you got some support. You got the previous day close. You got the VWAP. This could be interesting. But it doesn't have the volume like an Nvidia does. But Amazon could be the one.
Amazon's relative volume is only sitting at about 50%. Nvidia's not that much higher, at about 60, 63 to be precise. But Intel's the only one that's got above average volume here. The semis.
It's doing nothing.
But it's doing nothing, yeah.
Garbage.
226% average volume, but not
a 20 cents range on this thing. It just doesn't move. Doesn't move. All right, Nvidia. Talk to us. Tell us something.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Talk to me. What's going on here? Yes. Fake out? You think so? Could be. I see the Ron was saying fake out. Yeah, could be. I see the SPY pulling back here, hitting the previous day close and pulling back, and pulling back rather. I just think that again going into this weekend, you gotta be careful. And then, remember there's so many participants, not just us cool trading guys, me and you guys here in chat, our members in chat. It's not just us. It's a bunch of other people, investors and long term, and people switching from this one to this one. And going into this weekend, there's just a lot that can happen that you don't want to be stuck in the weekend on a trade one direction or the other. So a lot going on here. Or maybe you do. Maybe you feel strongly about one way or the other, and you want to join a position. So I think that's it too. Yeah, well, then I'm looking at it. I'm looking at Nvidia like a hawk because I really think it's along here. But then I'm looking at the SPY and I see these drops, and it's just, it's a lot happening here. Regilio, yeah, I did see that headline about China suspending some tariffs, right? Not all, on certain imports, U.S. imports. Okay, we're going to go long Nvidia here. I think this is it. Let's make it happen. Let's see if we can get to the high of the day. Not that far entry from where we were in to begin with. Yeah, no, a little bit better actually, about 10 cents better. But let's see if we can get something going here. I just feel long, maybe because I don't believe in the short right now on Nvidia. POTR is looking like a possible for me now. Is POTR long? Yeah, actually, it could. It's got the pullback. So if you have a long strategy here, I think this is great. And you know, Nvidia, I mean, sorry,
Yeah.
POTR. You know, POTR can go for miles. Like this thing. This is a. We'll be looking at this later at the end of the day, and if it's gonna go, if it's in the moves to go higher, this is like Peter, like you mentioned, it's a good point you said earlier. This could be a small move at towards the end of the day.
Right.
You know, this could be a quarter of what a POTR does, and we've seen this over and over again with POTR. So I am long Nvidia. I also did mention Amazon had a better risk to reward, but it's just not committing to the move here. It's just kind of struggling at the point. So long Nvidia. Let's see a high of the day. We'll get going here, and it'll be good. But again, we had a hard time right this area we're at right now. This is actually very similar place where we struggled earlier. So we got to break through this quickly. Like, let's not mess around. Let's go through it right away. Let's not look back, and then let's wave at them from like 108. Just kind of wave back at those guys down there. There it is. High of the day. Let's see, can we get that? I like what I'm seeing on the ask. That's good. Seeing some large orders there. There it is, large orders again. Let's break through those if we can. Let's see. Good push here.
Oh, wow.
Let's get the momentum. Yeah, I just want to see if we can break to the high of the day. SPY's going green. So that's not playing against us, which is good. Let's see if we can get a push here. Not get a resistance from high of day. No, actually, we break high of days all the time. You know, we break high of day. In fact, stocks, they love to break levels. You know, it's just sometimes what they do, right? Not always, but a high of day is one, especially the very early high of day. Like this is a high of day from like 940, right? That's not really a big deal. Later in the day, I think they become a little bit more difficult to break once you have settled some of the range for the day, you know. So all right, here it is. Let's take a partial here, and let's get to 108. Let's get to 108 if we can. Andrew, a couple of trades on POTR, but the last one he took there, that's good. He did very, very well. Added partial to that big candle, and then he's still in it, I believe, because he's got a very good cushion from his entry. But are you still telling dad jokes to the chat?
No, not at the moment. I'm just my family's busy.
Yeah,
tweeting me. So
I got you, man. I got you.
Texting me here and trying to make weekend plans here.
Yes. What's on deck? What are you guys debating?
For me, it's the usual, which is running and pickleball. That's really all I've got scheduled.
So you're debating which one I'm gonna do and when.
No,
this is what's happening.
The weather, right? Because I've got indoor and outdoor. You'd always prefer to play outdoor if you can. But
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it's gonna rain, then I got to move indoor. So
Yeah. All right, friends over on YouTube, what are you guys into? What do you have? We're getting a nice move up here. I am in Nvidia. Let's check on Amazon. I think Amazon was yes, I knew it. Amazon, you were the next one with the best risk to reward, and you broke out here. Lovely. I did not take it because I'm in Nvidia, but Amazon it had to look. It had to look like, hey, this is a good risk to reward. Take advantage of me, and we didn't for some reason. But very nice pop, 186 to 187.80 from the VWAP. And again, what makes that so pretty is that risk to reward that we had there. POTR is clean. Yeah, now it wasn't that clean earlier. It's a little bit messy, like many of the stocks we had. They were just not that clean. So, unless except Nvidia, Nvidia, I find this very clean. Even the 5 minute, look how beautiful these lines are, man. It's like it's awesome. Check out the 5 minute. 5 minute, same thing. It just looks very very clean compared to like a what's the one that was messy? Was it Meta? No, Meta was awesome. There's another that was pretty bad. Nah, Google not as clean. Look at these wicks, right? Not as clean. Um, Intel, garbage. This is just garbage here. And I say garbage because every candle overlapping the previous candle. This is hard to trade whichever direction you pick because you get in and then you get the pullback to stop you out. You go long, you get the pullback to stop you out. So there's just no direction whatsoever on that. So as we were cycling through that, Google
Nice,
at the VWAP
nice
here.
pop on Nvidia. Good call. Where'd you get in, Carlos? Are you right in at the?
Yeah, I'm in at 107.16. Well, you got in last time. Was it
Wow, look at that.
107.16? Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much
So
exactly.
a better
Wow,
entry.
nice. Look at that. You
Yeah,
got in right before the pop. That's good. Well
yeah,
done.
yeah. Thank you, man. I'm in the 1 minute. Just be dodgy. Um, no. So what I do is I look at the 1 minute for the entry, but I have my 5 minutes. So you only see one chart because I want to make it as big as possible for you guys. I want to look bigger than what it is. That doesn't sound right. No, that
Don't
doesn't
don't
sound
don't
right.
we all? No, wait.
No,
What are we
no.
talking about?
Uh,
So-
can we delete the stream?
Are we still
Where's
talking about
where,
stocks? What's happening?
I got lost for a little bit. Do we have one of these things?
Yeah,
We go.
okay.
Remember the
Yeah.
Men in Black? We
That
need one
was
of those. We
that was very
yeah.
Freudian, I think, Carlos. But anyways,
Let's
yeah.
look into the light. There we go. Nvidia. So I'm looking at both. Who said the comment? Whoever said the comment. Yeah, I look at both. So not just the 1 minute, because I agree the 1 minute could be very noisy. You have to look at both here. We'll take a partial Nvidia right here, guys. And actually, just to give you an example, since we brought that up, which is the reason why I got into this 5 minute break, which I think this is a great trade. I would take this again if I see the opportunity. Was because of this beautiful 5 minute ORB strength, the pullback. You guys know I like the pullback on the way back up. On the 5 minute, this is perfect. That's why we went in on that. Just happens it didn't work out, right? Because just the overall market was too heavy and just kept pushing it down. So, but Nvidia's been trading very, very, very nice. The neuralizer, is that what it's called, James King? The
Neuralizer,
neuralizer. Oh, very nice. Yeah. I'm gonna pick that up on Temu. Let me see if Temu has a neuralizer. I'm gonna go check right now. I should not be going to
I'm sure it
these
works great.
sites. I should not be going to these sites on my computer, but it is what it is. They already got my info.
I got a little Romo here missing that second entry. I wasn't convinced that it was going to pop up, but you played that well. So
Nice,
well done.
Peter. You was doing better things, planning your weekend.
Yeah, I wasn't paying close enough attention. My bad.
No, it's all good, man. Let's see here.
Tesla also had a good strong move up here. What a run! About the same time. Yeah, it took off. So
Sean J, what are you pointing out? Help your followers out. What do you need? How can you help you, brother? UNH relative week. Yeah. You gotta like this ticker. You gotta like trading this stuff, man. UNH has been getting the dailies. They're just getting destroyed. These guys are just they're having a bad day. They're having a bad week. They're having a
they're
bad week.
yeah they're having a bad year really if you look at it.
Oh yeah, they were higher. Oh wow, yeah. Yep. Man, yeah, that is a big gap and go here. I mean, the gap down on this was earnings, I believe. It was definitely a catalyst. I don't recall if it was earnings.
Yeah, that was
Um,
earnings. I
and then
think.
just look at this.
Yeah, because that was not long ago. That was
Why
the
is it so
earnings.
bad?
I was surprised to see it have moved up so steadily. I mean, after the gap down back in February,
Yeah,
there was a gap there. That was during the whole CEO assassination thing.
yeah, yeah.
Pretty
I
sure that
remember
was the
that.
time
Yeah,
frame. And then, but really surprised to have seen it sort of increased and then it lost it all again. So,
yeah.
anyways, but like you said, it's hard to trade. Tesla, wow, look at Tesla. God, what a run! See now I got something to watch here. Tesla, we'll see
Oh,
where it can top up here.
wow, guys, we are getting some. This week has been just incredible, incredible. So many opportunities. PLTR is up at 109 already, so good. My Nvidia struggling a little bit here at this 108. We got two good partials. Let's see if we can break through that. That would be nice, but it's struggling a little bit here right now on Nvidia to get going. Meta, good move. Amazon, a great. POTR pulling back. And yeah, so great opportunities. But Tesla is big profit. That's was a $7, $8 move on Tesla. What do we think on Google? Let's take a look. It's right at the VWAP, but it's not moving much. So it's got there's a great risk reward area close to the VWAP for the way I trade a little bit. But we need some continuation here because things are pulling back a little bit. So just kind of got to wait because either can go either way. If the market's going to come swing back low again, then it could be a good short to the low of the day. If it's going to swing high, it could be a good long towards the high of the day. So we just got to wait to see what the overall market is doing. But we did get a nice little breakout retest. Like if you want to go long, if you believe in the long, you have your strategy. This is a great entry. Stop loss, you got to put it below these candles here, right? Because if it goes below that, then you might be in trouble. So you got to put at least 163.75. If you could afford lower, even better. But that's the entry there, and you got a very clear risk to reward on Google. The 5-minute looks great too. Like the 5-minute, it's a nice candle we're building right now. Let's see how it ends on the 5-minute. So let's see if so Amazon did, right? But Amazon did it a little bit more uglier. Popped in, just kind of struggle, and then boom, the nice breakout. It's nice. Tesla moving because of new lower price model. Yeah, yep. And Elon back on the driver's seat too, right? So that's their big news for this week. The guy from Brazil, IonQ, what a great ride on IonQ. What is this? What's the news?
Yeah,
Do you see this? Why does my pre-market look so wild? Looks a little messy.
On Q secures a $22 million deal with EPB, establishing a quantum network hub in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee. Exactly where you expect quantum computing to be.
Yeah. QUBTS. What are those guys doing? QUBT. Okay, so yeah, all the quantum stocks getting a little love here because that's good news for everybody. RGTI, same thing. Getting a little bit of a reaction there. Not as big as IonQ. IonQ is obviously drawn with the deal, but usually you see these stocks kind of move a little bit with them on that. QBTS, yeah. I did a nice swing trade a couple of weeks back, a month or two now back on this one. It was nice. But yeah, lower price stocks are different to trade than the higher stuff that we usually trade. You took the same trade I did, but on Nvidia, but at 170.50. I'm sorry, 107.50. Let's see here. So you got in somewhere in here. So you took it for the breakout, basically. That's okay too. Some people like to wait for the breakout. That's good. I have covered 10% 5 times. Is that too much? You covered 5%, 10% 5 times already. Yeah. No, hold on. Am I read that right? Five. Yeah, 5 times might be. Um, it depends. I got to be careful here, right? Because you have your plan and you need to follow your plan. But yeah, it might be a lot. Now, if you're asking, you probably feel that it is a lot. Maybe try to reduce it a little bit more, right? Like my covering happens, at the high here when we break out the next high. As we're getting slower here, if we start dropping some more, I might do a defensive cover, just to not cover, sell, to protect me from going to the downside like we're doing right here. So I'm going to, no, but it looks like it wants to go higher. I'll probably take a partial. I'll probably take even another partial when we get up here if we start struggling too. Just to not bring a lot of shares back to my break even because we did get a really good move here. So yeah, let's take a partial here just to not bring too many shares back down here. And then, so yeah, if you think 5 is too much, you could try to reduce it. But again, just make sure whatever it is, you're following your plan, right? That's important. So. Christmas tree. As a scalper, I will partial 50% for the first 25. Okay, got it. And then 25 for the second, then out. I can't wait for that. Yeah, exactly. So, Ambil, you're perfect. You depends on your strategy. It really does. Depends on your strategy. Like people will look at, for example, they'll look at Paris or they'll look at somebody else and say, "Oh man, that's a Christmas tree." No, they have a system that they're following, and it works for them. So
Exactly.
is it a Christmas tree when you know what, when you do it every single day and you know what the plan is when you're getting in, when you're adding? It's really not. So yeah. All right, I'm glad I took that partial, guys. So here it is. We are dropping. Break even. We'll get out of this trade. We don't want to turn a red trade. Oh, we're going to get out right now, actually, because look at the SPY. Why? This market is so wild. we have these giant companies, Peter, trading like low floats.
Yeah.
like,
Well, they
like the
do
volatility.
can change
Yeah.
perspective quickly here.
My goodness. All right, we're out of break even here. Yeah, let's get out now. We can always get back in on this one. So we're out here. So great trade, great breakout. It's just the SPY is just not the SPY, the market, right? Because the SPY is just basically all the stocks, right? But the market itself is up and down, and it's just wielding his hammer anywhere it wants to. All right, very good. Let's see. We're gonna get us some kind of rebound here. Progress. I'm coffeeed up 2 break evens here. It's Friday. This market is range bound. I'm out. Take care, CFC. Have a great weekend, man. Yeah, it's not the easiest market to trade. One red trade, one green trade so far, both on Nvidia. But yeah, not the easiest. I love that. Some low flow stocks are more stable than the Qs and the SPY these days. Dude, that's a great comment. I like that. I like that. Look at the reaction now in the SPY. Back up.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's see what we got going on here. There's an empty feeling. What's going on? All right, very good. Intel's the only thing red on my screen. On my watch list this morning, down 7.8. Everything else is green. Amazon back and forth between green and red. POTR back to VWAP. Google lost it here. What else we have? Nvidia. Tesla. Wow, Tesla's doing some cool stuff. Did you guys see the video Elon put up over on X? That was hilarious. So this guy driving, and he tells Tesla, "Take me to a place I've never been to." And the guy's a little bit on the on the heavier side, right? Nothing wrong against my heavy sized people. I'm a little heavy too, right? So the Tesla takes him to the gym. To Platinum Fitness. It pulls up to the Platinum Fitness parking lot. I wonder if
Oh
how
yeah,
real that is. That is funny.
I saw that. I saw that video. I don't know if that's real or not, but
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
like, that can't be real. That's disrespectful car. If you have a Tesla, we gotta ask John. We gotta ask him to do that. Like, take me to a place I know you've never been to and see if it actually takes him somewhere. Is it fake? Do you have a Tesla? Anybody has a Tesla that could do that? I gotta try this out. This will be fun to see. Maybe we'll ask John to make us a video and put it up on YouTube. Here it is. Here it is. Wow, Google was a great short. Great short off the VWAP. I don't see the entry though, but a great short off the VWAP here. SPY looking to head lower right now. Let's see here. That's the car keeping it real. Yes. Very good. Could get you in trouble too, right? Like, what if take me to a place I go often, and you know, take you to a place your wife is like, oh, you've been here a couple of times. What is this? You know, you got to be careful. It can get you in trouble. You know, if you're not being straight and narrow. All right, Google. Let's see what's going on here. Nvidia back long. What do you guys think? If the market starts reversing. I like the video with the dog that stops at the bar. I haven't seen that one. Does the high and low in the pre-market have any significance during or only during the early morning? No, it does. It does. We've seen the high and low be. This is why we usually mark. You see people mark down these 8 a.m. candles. Let me show you on the video here. They'll mark down the high and low of the 8 a.m. candles because usually that can play a part in the daily intraday, right? So, yeah, it does make an impact at times. It can act as a level of resistance, support. So yeah, we do see that. Market probably gonna false breakdown for the liquidity grab. Yeah, it could. Fibonacci levels, yes, JC Trader. Absolutely. MP, that is problems, man. That's why I'm a one woman man that takes. He says takes you to your girlfriend's house when your wife is in the car. Ouch. I used to love hearing. I used to love hearing the what is it, roses something they do it on the radio. This every morning they used to do this roses 1-800 roses something. I forget what it was, but basically what they'll do is it'll be like let's say I'll give them my wife's information and number, and the radio station will call her, and they'll ask Ryan's Roses. I never heard that name. We had a different one right here in New York, and they'll call her and say, hey, you just want a free bucket of roses. Who do you want to send them to, and what's this person? What's his name? And I'll be listening in, right? And obviously, in many cases, they will send that to like somebody else, like a coworker at work or somebody here. Oh, those are fun. I'll be so tense for them while I'm listening to it. Like sometimes I'll drop off the kids, I'll get to the house, and I just sit in the car just to listen to see how it finishes. It's just retarded, but so.
Some of those, I don't know. I struggle with some of those because some of those can end up really bad situations, really mean, right?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, they're like, "Oh, good, I'll send it to my mistress," type thing or whatever, and then
next time
that's when, and that's what they look for,
who's
right?
Melanie?
That's the radio
Who's
station
Melanie?
wants.
Like, yeah, exactly. Do you have a name for the second trade on NVIDIA? Yeah, so that's a VWAP breakout right here. This is a VWAP breakout. Now, I got it late in, right? So I missed the perfect breakout was here. So I was watching it from here. This was the VWAP breakout, but I wanted a better entry, so I waited. I noticed that we got a little bit of pullback here. We're not going to get anything better than this. At least it felt that way, and that's why I went long. So Yes, I know that if you look at this trade alone, you're like, well, that's not a VWAP breakout, but the idea was the VWAP breakout, right? So we broke out. Here's the confirmation candle. We got the push up with the news at 10. So you know what happens with news? You get this push up, down. So I wait intentionally to wait for the news to kind of settle out. Okay, is this a real pop and we're going to be consistent, or is this a pop and drop? And, I want no parts of this. So in waiting, the pop happened. We never really got a pullback. We held. Best pullback we got, and we went in long, right? So that's how I play that. But the strategy came off a VWAP breakout, which you guys see me do a ton here. We do the 5-minute RB like we did today, and then we do the VWAP breakout if we could find one. But yeah, I might be done for this week, man. This week has been awesome. We had some really, really great trades, a couple of losses, but for the most part, our winners were incredible, especially that Tesla one. It's just a beautiful thing. So just kind of shows you take your losses quickly, guys. I mean, this is a lesson that it took me a while to learn. I know you probably heard this 100 times, but it's important. Take your losses quickly. Jump out. There's another winning trade literally around the corner. There's a winning trade if you're just focusing on quality, right? Just got to do that over and over again. And in the long run, this is a game of probabilities. The numbers are going to work out in your favor, right? Not overnight, but in the long run. So, so important. As we get a little bit choppy here. Short. Timo's Fox Trader. Let's take a look. You got in here 236 for the breakdown. It's very good. I do notice, Andy should be coming on here in a minute, but while he's setting up to switch over, stocks that don't get a lot of volume, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, and Peter too, like the T-Mobile, KO, like these stocks, when they pick a direction, there's not a whole lot of back and forth like you see with Meta and Nvidia. Like when these stocks pick, hey, we're going down. Like UNH is another one too, right? We saw it today. UNH, excuse me. Like they just run. And I had some really big traders, big winners on stocks like this where the volume is low, but they're just slowly cranking lower and lower and lower and lower or higher. But they're harder to get into because there's just no volume. But I feel like these stocks where they have less volume and less people watching them and kind of manipulating them a little bit because they want it long, they want it short, they want it at the VWAP, they could be great winners, man. They could be great runs. So more of a trend trading style. How do you develop so much patience, Peter? Peter, we need to push Peter to trade. Have you seen Peter's sign? The sign tells him, take the damn trade.
Yeah, I've got to be less patient. Patience is actually my problem. It's the damn trade. Yeah. But look, I've learned that the real opportunities for me, this is about the time of day when they normally start. So, and Andrew was talking about this the other day. So I don't understand why Peter waits so long. Like there's lots of trading.
The other day, he said that yesterday.
Yeah, and
give us your feedback.
Well, and look, I get it, right? Because his style really favors the open. That's when he excels. That's when his trading is good. I don't know. I've just so far have not been able to develop the skills to trade that open momentum. Again, my setups are just bigger and longer. They're more structured. It's not necessarily a good thing, right? Because it means I have to spend a lot more time waiting for them, but it also means I've got lots of time for them to build and set up. So I don't know. It's Carlos. I mean, look, being here with you in the morning, I'm trying to trade more frequently in the open, but it's hard because I've been trading this other way for years now, 8 years, right? So
and don't change what's working, man. Come and keep us company if you need to. Look at Tesla. Don't I'm a fan of not changing what's working. Don't fix what's broken. And people say you trade the 5-minute RB every day. Yes, I trade it every day. That's what I look for. And if I don't find one, I don't trade it. But I'm not changing what's broken. Why you take so many partials? I'm not changing what's broken. Like what, so you got to find what you're good at. That's so underrated when it comes to trading, and stick to it.
Good morning,
and
everyone.
it is an interesting.
Good morning,
Oh, is he there?
Andrew. That was Andrew. You heard.
Okay,
I
I
was
didn't
not a
hear him at all.
ghost in your house,
Oh, there he is.
Peter.
Like when Andrew went, where Andrew stayed in San Francisco. We went to California. He stayed in that person's house. I think it was. Andrew was hearing voices of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
That
The
was
ghost.
recent
creepy.
house. Somebody died in there recently last night. So that, and then
Yeah,
I had to
yeah.
go in there. So, oh man, I was really freaked out.
Oh
All
man.
right, guys. So, how did you do today? Tesla is amazing. Tesla is reaping. I did
Yeah.
trade Tesla, but I made only $6,900 on this because I missed the whole move through TSLL. Um, and it was pretty nice. PLTR was also nice. We made, sorry, no, Tesla was only 5,000. PLTR was 6,900 and Google $4,850 of loss. So yeah, Google really had no momentum to the upside.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Pezim had a good trade on Meta. So things are
Yeah.
doing pretty good. How is the
Awesome.
situation between our folks in YouTube?
Yeah, these guys did great. Took
How's
a couple of really
Google
good trades. We took Nvidia, had a short and then a long. I'm sorry, two longs. One didn't work out, stop on, and the other one here, we took some partials. So not a bad day. And Peter's hasn't taken a trade yet. Peter, have you?
No, no, I did. I was in with you on the first Nvidia trade.
Oh yes, you took a partial and then stopped
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
you
yep.
got
So not a bad day, but a great week.
Uh,
Not a blockbuster day, but man, this week has been just awesome. Guys, over on YouTube, we're gonna leave it with Brian and Andrew. We're gonna be here in chat, right? And then Lenny will be on later today. So guys, hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We're sitting at 290 likes, which is not bad for a Friday. That's actually really good. So we appreciate you guys. But if you could slam if you haven't done so, really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe, and we'll see you guys in chat. Take care.
absolutely. Trade smart, everyone.
Hey, thanks, guys. Peter, show him. Peter, show him your sign. Oh, he's not tuning
I
in.
was I was doing that. Yeah, I was just doing that earlier. There we go. Take the damn trade.
Okay,
Don't
there it
worry.
is. There you
Right
go.
here.
Take a
It's
damn
always right here
trade.
with me.
See,
Yeah.
that's a quote by Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll go down in history.
Indeed.
All right. Emma Bio, wasting time. Thanks. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed my swing trade book. It's awesome. Good to hear. Like to always like to know that I'm helping people with their trading journey.
What a journey.
So
What
yeah,
a
so
journey, really.
yeah, so yeah, what a journey. I took a couple trades on Tesla this morning, in and out of it a few times long. Still, I've got some long Tesla on a in my Canadian account. You can trade some of these Mag 7 stocks with Canadian funds and Canadian accounts. I think they're kind of like an ADR. Same with PLTR. I'm still long some PLTR in a swing trade. That's worked out really well. It looks like Nvidia is actually breaking high of day here. Here goes Tesla. Tesla's, I thought I kind of flagged 275, 280 is an area where it's going to break into another sort of zone of consolidation. So if you look at Tesla on a daily basis, we're kind of getting into the top end of this range now. So yeah, 280 looks like definitely an area we could go to. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia's kind of breaking out here too. It's kind of breaking into a new sort of range here. So 115, 113, somewhere in that range. It's a possible target on there. Maybe not today, but next week. Man, Tesla's don't enter now. Tesla's really extended, but doesn't mean it won't go higher. But you really be chasing it up here. There is a big order at 280. Yeah, guys, give us a like if you haven't clicked on that thumbs up already. Rajnet, you've been long PLTR since 16. Awesome. Yeah, I remember trading it when it was around. I remember swing trading it when it was around 25, $30. That was when it did that monster run, and I think I did another trade on it, sort of 40 to 60 area. Yeah, that was back almost a year ago now. So you can check out if you want to check out my swing trade thoughts and market thoughts. I do a weekend video. If you haven't subscribed already to that, it's just under my name on YouTube. So
Yeah, I'm just checking if Los Angeles feed.
your target's 1,000. I don't know about that. Voice of Yoda. So this is kind of, I would say, bit of a typical Friday. If you look at the Qs and the SPY, we've really been pretty choppy here. Um, and I like to call these days kind of like hangover days because they're because we had a big party yesterday in the market. Everything went up. It was a real nice trend day. Just buyers just stepping in. Um, so um, again, like I said, I like to call these hangover days because it's like you have the big party and then everyone's kind of the next day, right? So that's why we kind of seem to be pretty choppy in the market. We're up near this 550 is a really kind of critical level on the SPY right now. So that's an area where there's going to be some resistance on a daily chart, I believe. And people are watching that level to see if we can break through there. Because if we can break through there, we'll be into another sort of area of consolidation, prior consolidation, where we spent some time before. So, like I said, if we can break into that area, kind of be a bullish. It'll be a bullish move. But again, we're getting kind of into some Friday action here. It's getting a little bit quiet. Volume seems to be dropping off a bit now as well. Yeah, Nvidia's like I said, Nvidia's at high of day. Let's take a boo at bookmap. Let's take a look what the level 2 looks like. There's some orders at 110. Okay, Raj, you just you're doing some covered call strategy with PLTR. PLTR is heading back to prior day's close, um, and prior day's high, which is almost the same level, just around 108 here. Again, just seems like we're having trouble. We don't have any necessarily much sellers in the market, but we're just having trouble finding a large number of buyers to keep pushing this market higher today. So sort of typical of a hangover day. Yeah, you can check out Andrew's book, How to Day Trade. That's sort of a classic trading book, and then my book, How to Swing Trade. Um, it's a book that a lot of people have said it helped. It also helped with their day trading as well, including and if you wanted to do some swing trading, also obviously. And once you gain some proficiency in trading, you can also then check out a book I have on another book I just wrote called How to Trade Options. So if you're interested in moving from stocks to options at some point, or using options in your trading strategies, that's there as well. People that follow us know I like to trade Tesla with options, just to get way better leverage, way better movement for small, especially if you have a small account. But again, you need to understand your trading strategies before you hit that financial vehicle. PLTR actually just went red.
Wow, really?
it is quite extended on a daily.
Brian, when should we should short Tesla to get ready for shorting Tesla?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like we might get a pullback, but I wouldn't be sticking around on Tesla. On a short. I'm looking for a trade. I really am not seeing anything um, that I really like right at this point. I mean, so I'm looking at the SPY and the Qs. We're just flatlining basically. SPY is like literally right at jumping up and down between red and green here. Qs, pretty much the same thing. And volume is starting to get really light. Intel's actually starting to look like it might try to
Why
go
Intel?
higher here.
Was there earning on Intel?
Yeah, Intel had earnings last night.
Hmm. All right, Tesla is seriously going up.
I know, eh? Like it's just you don't want to get in front of that train.
What's NVIDIA doing? NVIDIA popped up. PLTR, nothing.
And Nvidia's hanging around high of day here. I'm just wondering if you can get a CDR. Yeah, Intel, there's a CDR on Canadian on the Canadian markets.
Yeah. Right, guys, remember, guys, boot camp we're starting next week, May 5th. Actually, not next week, the week after. So for those of you who already signed up, make sure that you guys are going through the pre-essential courses. Get ready if you have any question about the platform. Brandon is the person who's supporting everybody. So by the time that you start your journaling and funded accounts, you make sure that you know the platform. And the platform comes with funded account and with a test account, so you can actually play around with it and making sure that you can actually develop new strategies. We have also options data feed as well in the funded account, in the test account, and the funded account for those of you who want to trade options. Because Avi is trading options live with our bootcamp members. So if you want to, build a system around options as well, you can.
Um, what's been more profitable, day trading or swing trading? It just depends on the market. Um, I would say day trading is more difficult in some respects. Um, swing trading is can be, the obviously the downside of swing trading is sometimes you get you get stuck in things that where unexpected events happen when the markets are closed. So the names of the books are How to Day Trade and How to Swing Trade. You find them both on Amazon. And yeah, just search for our authors' names.
I mean,
And
I
then the
made
other
most
one
of
is
day
how
trading. I lost most
yeah.
of money on swing trading. That's more for me. For me, day
Thanks,
trading is
thanks,
way easier.
Sebastian. Yeah, thanks, Sebastian. I'm glad you like the book. I tried to write it for right from beginner to talking about some strategies you can use without getting too complicated because you can get all sorts of fancy strategies that get used like broken wing butterflies and all the rest of that. But you don't really have to go crazy with those. So PLTR continues to kind of leak off here. The SPY is
It's a
kind of
potential
leaking
of
off a
920
little
on
bit.
Tesla.
Yeah,
It's a
Tesla
potential of
Tesla's
920 on
pulling
Tesla.
back here finally
Let
getting
me see.
some
I might take
profit
it
taking here.
920. I might take a 920 on Tesla. I'll see. Maybe we can do it through
Yeah, that would
TSLL.
be around 270, 273.50,
I might do it through TSLL.
or it could be sort of 274-ish.
Yeah, maybe the R4. If it hits 274.48, maybe I can go long there, which is kind of a. Let's see if the brand's
Yeah.
the strategy actually works or not. Let's do it.
I just the market is slow selling off a little bit here. Speaking of options, yeah, I mentioned this in the other room. I am short Meta calls 550s, which is essentially a short position. So they'll expire end of day.
Oh, Chris
And
is back. How are you,
I've already,
Chris?
yeah, I've already
Chris, I
covered
miss
half
you.
of them and just got the other half stop at break even.
Yeah, good to see you, buddy. I thought you blew up your account because I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're well. While you were gone, I blew up one account. You want to go bike the seawall? No, I'm running the seawall. Danda is asking
Traded.
about the bootcamp. Is it beneficial for beginner traders or experience? I think a little bit of experience is good. You don't need to be super experienced, but you need to have a few months of messing around and knowing what you're not doing and knowing what you're not knowing. I think that's probably very important in that. But you don't want to be absolute beginners that you don't know what the market order is, what's the level 2, or what's the the VWAP. But also you don't want to be like you don't need to be super experienced like Brian.
Intel is creeping its way back up here. It's got some gaps to fill for the next couple of days if you like Intel's prospects. possible swing trade to 21. I'd use a stop around 1975. So it's not quite the risk to reward that you would like. It's close.
Yeah, SPY did the 920. Damn, just didn't give me the
Yeah,
exact
Tesla, do you
entry
see
that I
that?
wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do you see that? Right off
I wanted a little bit
right off
lower,
the
just a
20.
little bit lower. Ah,
Yeah. It means a gap to fill. So what happens in, like, for example, with Intel, it had some news and it opened up it opened up below where it closed, or even below where the previous day candle was. So if you look at the daily chart, there's a big gap. It's called a gap, obviously for obvious reasons. A gap between prior day's candle and the new candle. So it can be a gap up, can be a gap down. So in this case, with Intel's case, earnings were just obviously disappointing, um, and guidance. So the stock gap down sort of left a big sort of hole between the 2 days here. So markets typically don't like gaps. They like to see those gaps filled. So you'll see that fairly often. Markets eventually will come in and fill in that gap with some volume. So that's kind of what that means. I have taken a bit of a long on Intel as a swing trade. I'm gonna see what it does here. Keeps grinding up right now. So um, the other thing I like about this swing trade, I like to, you always expose yourself to overnight risk or risk when the markets are closed. And the nice thing about this trade is sort of Intel's just laid it all out on the table. They've bared it all, so it's unlikely they're going to see any more sort of bad news come out of Intel over the next couple of weeks. It's already out there, so maybe there's a bit of the market sees a bit of a mispricing in this gap down. Look at that. See, I told you, Tesla, don't get in front of this train for very long. You're right back near high of day. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll see
yeah.
280 by the end of the day here. All right. I'm going to grab some breakfast. Monsieur, everyone out there. Do I use FP? I'm not really sure. I don't think I use FVGs. I don't recognize them. I use OBRs, which is opening range breakouts. No, typically my charts are a couple of moving averages, 9 and 20 EMA, the VWAP, pivot points. Camarilla pivot points, yesterday's high, low, and close. And I only use the R3, R4, and R6 on the Camarillas. And then I try to read price action using Bookmap primarily. And I watch my levels on the chart. Oh, fair no, I don't. I don't look at. I don't look at that.
All right, guys, we're getting into 11. We gotta go leave. Is there any question before Brian and I hop off? Is there any specific question about the trades that I did? I didn't take the 920 trade on Tesla. Would have been a very, very nice trade. PLTR was a very nice breakout that we got. That was my main profit. And unfortunately, Google was not a good trade. But Tesla was amazing on the 920. Is there any last question we take? If not, guys, have a really great weekend. I'm going to fly to China tomorrow. I'll be in China. I will be trading. I have traded from China in the past. So that's it. So George is asking, Tesla is a good short. Now be careful of shorting Tesla. This is a very strong stock. Is really rallying. I would be very, very careful shorting a stock. This stock. This is not the type of a stock that I would see go back to the VWAP today. So
No, I think the Tesla is not unless unless we get some news or something. I would say Tesla's just going to have, there's going to be pullback buyers all day. I can just kind of feel like that's what the price action is like. Look, we're basically getting back to the high of day here right now. You can tell it's just if you look at the chart, pullbacks are getting bought. We'll see if we can make a new high here. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised we hit 280 today. I'm using daily Camarilla pivots.
Yeah, I think Tesla. I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised if we go to 291 today. This is ripping. Like this was a great 920 trade, Brian. Didn't take it.
I know.
Jesus.
I'm gonna hold Intel at, like I said, 1975, and I'm looking for $21 target price. For $21 target price. All right, that's it, everyone. Everybody have a. I hope you have a great weekend. Hope you had a good day today. I always want to end the week on a positive note if you can. And we'll see you all Monday morning. And Andrew, you'll be on the other side of the world.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Brian. Have a great weekend. All right, friends, we're going to disconnect here from our chat, and our good buddy Lenny is up next. So, and Thor will be in the chat room. Take care, guys.
Hey, Carlos. Thank you.
Hey, how are you, my friend?
All good. All good. Everything good.
Good.
Interesting
man.
day.
Glad to hear that.
Really
day was good, man. Green, two trades, one red on Nvidia, one long. That's it. I'm probably done for the day, man. Just a great week, so no need to mess around anymore. But
exactly.
But yeah, man. How did you do today?
It was good. I had one winning trade in Meta. I made also one mistake actually, and I had one losing trade in Apple, and we're gonna discuss that extensively in a bit. But like I had a very, very nice trade on Meta, I think.
Oh, man, Meta was nice. I did see that sell-off on Meta. That was clean, man. There's a couple of good sell-offs. Meta was one of them. There's some other ones that actually did pretty good as well. Cool, man. I'll listen in. I'll be in chat, and I'll let you to it.
Awesome. Thank you. So, how's everyone doing? Hope everybody doing well on this Friday. Almost weekend. It's been a pretty wild trading week, I think. Many things happening. A lot of headlines, a lot of earnings. And we finished off this week with also very interesting price action, right? Market opened strong, as you can see the SPY. Then we sold off a little bit, then we squeezed up again, and then we sold off again. So that didn't make it very easy to be honest this morning. So yeah, by the way, my name is Lenny. I'm here covering. They asked me to cover because Paris is traveling a few days. I'm a senior trader for P Capital Trading. And I'm here to answer your questions and to, of course, discuss the price action today. Discuss price action in general and discuss trading and discuss everything related to what we are doing here. So what did you guys trade today? I think the big news was Google, right? Yesterday they had very good earnings. They pretty much blasted it away. Really, really good data. I also looked actually to trade it in the post market for the when the earnings released, but no, it wasn't good. Actually, I cannot even scroll back on my screen anymore. But it wasn't convincing at a certain point in the post market earnings got released. Then I saw like I cannot show you in a 1 minute chart, unfortunately, anymore. The data doesn't allow me to zoom out, but I hopefully can show it on the 2 minute chart. But basically, there was some strong price action, and then the pullback was very steep, and then everything was slowing down. Right, this on the 2 minute chart you can only see it a little bit, but see like big. On the 1 minute chart was a really steep pullback, and then it slowed down on the way up, and I thought, okay, this is not going to be any setup anymore. So I didn't trade it for the earnings, the earning report, but they did pretty well actually. Google. So far, Google search did not get disrupted by ChatGPT and the other LLM models. Actually, Google said that their own AI model, like the monetization, is going on the same pace as Google search. So that's what they said themselves. Actually, Google potentially gave also an interesting entry here, but I didn't take it because you see like the first 10 minutes today, you see like really moving down, moving up, moving down, moving up, moving down, moving up, moving down, really like a lot of overlap. And at a certain point, we broke down the pre-market low. You can see it here. We see the retest, and then perhaps there could be like a short here. But still, I felt it was a little bit too choppy, right? A little bit too much overlap, so I didn't take it. And at the same time, I was also short in Meta. So I was a short in Meta. It was interesting, right? Meta was actually also gapping up, I believe, because of Google, because of the Google earnings, because they're both selling advertisement, right? And so Meta was moving up in sympathy with Google, but then the market opened and actually Meta was clearly weaker than the rest. You see like this. First 1 minute candle being weak, second candle inside candle, third candle again inside candle, but rejection, right? Could be sign of continuation. And two more inside candles, basically. Actually, candle fifth was not an inside candle, but rejected again the pre-market low, and then we broke down very nice, closing at the edge of the opening range, and I took it short here. It was a nice setup, right? So an indirect catalyst. Trading gapping up because of Google, but then when the market opened, it was clearly weaker than everything else. Right? You see Google is actually squeezing up in minute 4. And what was Meta doing? Meta was in minute 4 rejecting the pre-market low. And at the same time, Q's already showed some strength there, minute 4, moving up, but no, Meta didn't. So it felt like, like the gap up got used by the market to take some profit, right? Or to get rid of some position, to sell the gap up. So I think the price action also showed a lot of weakness. So first 1 minute very weak, inside candle, rejection from the top, another inside candle, rejection from the pre-market low, and a nice breakdown with high volume actually. And then it's also nice, right, that we didn't short it at the break of the low of the day, but actually we shorted it below, above the low of the day, right? Giving a better risk to reward. So let me see what you guys traded. I'm seeing the comments on my phone and your questions. So Tesla, yeah, Tesla was amazing. Let's discuss Tesla in a bit. I think there were definitely some interesting signs in Tesla, right? Third day play after the earnings. Yesterday was second day, today third day. Yeah, MSCR was really good. I also look at MSCR actually. Uh, and we're going to discuss MSCR extensively. I had both Mara and MSCR on my watch list. Both looked very strong in the pre-market. Also because Bitcoin has been shown shown to be extremely resilient in the last couple of weeks, last couple of days as well. But then the market opened, and you see like MSCR was already very strong in the first minute. And what did Mara do? Mara sold off. Bam. And MSCR held strong. And also on the daily chart, actually, MSCR looks stronger than Mara. Look on ABC. You see like the gap up almost was already breaking the high of this ABCD setup in the last couple of days. Oh, sorry, I have to show on this screen. Right, you see the daily chart, the MSTR, right? ABCD setup, but MSCR was already breaking out of it, while Mara was actually still trading below it, right? So MSCR was already strong in the daily chart. Both looked very strong in the pre-market. Intraday, MSCR was also stronger than Mara, right? And it was all because of the extreme strength in Bitcoin, I think. But I felt like the spread was a little bit big. I think the spread was like 50 cents. And I also felt like it was moving a little bit slow. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to burn to it, right? Also, I know MSCR can move really with big moves up and down. But then, yeah, the first minute was strong. Second minute at a big wick, but still like all higher lows. Third candle, inside candle. And then the move made, right? But this is not really the clean price action, the stable price action that I looked to trade. But definitely that a lot of signs of strength. A lot of signs of strength everywhere. Look in the pre-market already, strongly moving up, held above the VWAP, and then everything else combined. It was just a bit of a big spread, and you see how it moves now, right? Really being up. So, but we're gonna discuss that also more later. So, what else did you guys trade? So somebody asked me, Lenny, I thought you're a pullback trader, but you took this as a break. No, I'm actually an opening range break trader. To the long side, to the short side. I also trade the pullback, but I think if you want to take the opening range break to the long side, to the short side, you also want to get in as low as possible, right? Preferably you want to get in before the breakout because you get a better risk to reward. And here in Meta, I think, yeah, I took it before the actually breakdown. Actually, it broke down the previous candle, but then this candle it held there, and then it moved. So actually, I took it with a bit of a better risk to reward, but that makes a difference in the end, right? Again, like each time these small moves makes a crucial difference in the risk to reward. So yeah, Pony, your questions, your thoughts on Pony. Yeah, there's some news, right, on that electrical car vehicle, sorry, autonomous vehicle industry, right? Pony has been moving up a lot. I noticed as well. There's definitely a movement happening, right? Also, Google yesterday they reported again a lot of growth with their Waymo taxis, WRD actually selling off, and also Uber holding very well, right? You see, actually Uber held very well the last couple of days, right? There's the fears, that Tesla might take over everything, or we're going to be a big competitor for Uber. There's also like another camp who's saying like, no, Uber could actually get also like a big part of the market share, especially because they have like a lot of partnerships. Yesterday, also another partnership was news from another partnership with Volkswagen, who is now testing with, I think, 1,000, 2,000, 2,000 vans, autonomous electrical vehicles, vans, taxis, but there's like just an experiment. So Uber is also making a partnership over there. So actually you see like Uber holding well. Indeed, you saw like Pony, but for me, I won't be trading Pony, right? Because it's below $10, and I don't like to trade stocks below $10, so I won't be trading it. Yes, I noticed the strength, But also Tesla is actually rocking. And of course, the earnings were very bad in Tesla, but that's of course where I guess the bullishness is coming from. And also reducing tariff tensions between USA and China at the moment. So yeah, so your question on Pony, I would not trade it because it's below $10. So your question, what about adding on the double top below the VWAP? You mean in Tesla, or what stock do you mean? Definitely, let's discuss Tesla. So yeah, market moving sideways during the day. Actually, it's now at the trading still in the opening range, but yeah, it went with big moves up and down, right? First opening range, first minute seems to be strong. Then we see the sell-off, then we big squeeze up, big sell-off. Again, we show a lot of strength. Then suddenly, I don't know what was the headline, but something came out, we sold off, and now we're recovering again. But don't forget, we had a very strong week, right? If you look at the daily chart, we had a very, very strong week. Like Monday at the low, we were trading at lowest point on Monday was like below 510. And now the SPY is trading at 550. So no worries, SPY had a very strong week. I actually heard this morning about a new indicator. I don't even know like how to. The name was pretty interesting. It's a very bullish indicator. Oh yeah, the Zweig Bread Trust indicator gave a bullish signal. It's a very rare bullish signal. So what is it again? What is the Zweig Bread? Can't even remember the name. So there's definitely some bullish momentum, right? And also because of everything else that is happening in the tariff war, in the news. Actually, also consumer sentiment this morning was better at 10 a.m. It was better than expected. Yeah, so let's discuss what I had on my watch list. Nvidia also moving up. Yeah, I think there was bullish news also from the hyperscalers, right? They say like demand is not decreasing. Also, another AI company or two semiconductors company this week reported earnings, and they actually increased their outlook. So they say like, yeah, demand is not decreasing, demand only increasing. Google, of course, crushed it. So I think that's also bullish for it. And Nvidia actually also read something that China has been, without telling, lowering some of the tariffs on certain products, and I believe also on certain semiconductor products. So bullishness here and there. Okay, so your question, what about adding on the double top below the VWAP in my meta trade? Yeah, could be. Opening range, first leg down, rejecting the opening range, right? Basically, because the double top is also rejecting the opening range. Could be, definitely. Also, we see like these two green candles. Right, I'll show in a little bit. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, right, because you see these two rejections, which are at the low of the 5-minute opening range. Would definitely be. I can add there. Especially because these green candles were like low volume. Right, then you would just only go for the basically opening range, first move down, rejection, you would go still for the second move. So I think would be valid. Would be a fine add. So do you see Tesla hitting 285 today? I'm not sure. It looks very strong, right? Let's discuss Tesla in a bit. I think I wouldn't be surprised. This is really buying. You know what's like for the first sign of strength in Tesla that thought, okay, this looks strong. Look at here. It's let's around minute 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 7, 8, 9. You see like this breakout. 1, 2, 3. The candles increasing in size, increasing volume. And okay, we're looking strong. And also at that point, we're also stronger than the rest of the market. Right, because at that point the spine cues were actually, they're also moving up, but not in the same way as Tesla. Tesla was like more veracity, and also actually Tesla was yesterday stronger than the rest. And also in the pre-market, Tesla held already above the pre-market, above the yesterday close. You see like this line here. I already noticed in the pre-market how Tesla held above the yesterday close. In that regard, Tesla was one of the stronger ones. PLTR as well. Some of the stocks held below it. Anyway, Tesla yesterday was very strong. Oh yeah, in the post market. Yesterday in the post market, at the end of the post market, Tesla was also stronger than the rest. I'll share it here. You see, there was like this buying at the end of the post market. Okay, that was already also something different than the rest. So we closed at the high, and then the post market there was more selling. Yesterday we were stronger than the rest. Then we held above the yesterday closed the pre-market as well. Then we saw this very big, these strong candles, minutes 7, 8, and 9. Okay, I thought they were definitely strong signals. But then we came down again. That I can never mind. But then at a certain point, the buyers really stepped in Tesla. And Tesla turned out to be actually the strongest of everyone today. This is a nice breakout. It's a nice breakout. Beginning, it also got a little bit help and supported by the cues. So yeah, Tesla, to come back to your question about 285, Tesla, it could be. I would not be surprised. I would not trade it, but I would also not be surprised if it gets there because you see really like a very fierce candle. Third day after the earnings. There's many things happening, right? So we could see some increased volatility, increased moves today, big moves, like we have seen over the last period of time. So is PLTR bullish momentum sustainable? Yeah, PLTR has been really strong, right? We already noticed 2 days ago because 2 days ago the SPY was actually weak, but PLTR held already above that range. Right? 2 days ago, we saw like the SPY was actually red, and all the other stocks as well. Oh, sorry, I gotta show it in this chart. You see, 2 days ago, PLTR SPY was red, while PLTR was already actually firming holding above here. And then yesterday, of course, PLTR was the big star. Yesterday, PLTR was the big star. So then today, yeah, this is not really the price action I like to trade. A lot of overlap, big candles, small candles. So I avoided PLTR today. But it definitely had momentum. But if it can be sustainable, I don't know. Like, definitely you should think it needs some time, right? It moved from 90 all the way to 110. PLTR, what a name, right? This year, also like the second half of last year already, last quarter. It has been one of the hottest stocks. So I'm struggling to stay in winning trade longer. Any advice on it? Yeah, just work with hard rules. Just make before you already trade. Make say like I'm going to do this and this and this. That's also what I did in my meta. I want to like, especially in these high volatility period where we in. I want to always like let a bit of my portion run for the rest of the day, and that's also what I did in meta, right? So it's about scheduling it, planning it beforehand already. It makes things more easy. So yeah, great. Somebody says great day with MSTR. Yes, no, MSTR was definitely interesting. We discussed it. Look at nice breakout pattern on the daily chart as well, right? And then in combination, that you can feel that really Bitcoin proven itself, its resilience again last couple of days, last couple of weeks. Then you see this nice ABCD setup pattern. You see the strength compared with Mara. You already see like the pre-market, how strong it looked like. Right? The rest of the market didn't look like it. Look at the MSTR. Right? You see this move up from 7 all the way to 830. While SPY was definitely not doing the same thing. It was actually trading below the yesterday close, the SPY, trading below the VWAP. So there were definitely signals. But it's also like not the price action I like to trade, right? A lot of overlap, big moves up and down. I remember the day I was a while ago. I just was everything was super strong at MSTR. I think it was really like 3-4 months ago, and I felt okay. This needs to go to, I believe it was 550 that day, if I'm correct. Everything looks strong, so I went in. Yeah, it was here or like it was 450. Was one of these days, and I went in at 410. To take all the way to 450. And then it first went all the way back to 398. Then it moved up again. Again to 415 or something. I got in again. It moved all the way back to 400. And then it moved all the way to 450. This makes such big moves up and down. Very, very volatile stock. Volatile price action. Yeah, but Tesla is the star of today. Keeps on moving up. Nice. This is, of course, a very, very nice breakout move here. From 950, from 10. Yeah, from 10 to 1020. Consolidation, breaking out further. So how did it look on a 2-minute chart? Always interesting. Yeah. So how do you choose a ticket to trade for the opening range break? How many have you watched? Actually, this morning I had a lot. I had Google, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Intel, Amazon, Meta, Palantir, Mara, and MSTR. And actually also ABBV. I had a lot, right? And then I just read it candle for candle. I look where's like the strength compared to the rest of the market. Where's the volume? Where's the order flow? Where's the stability? And then I'm going to read the candles. So you need AMD to get to, Merzat says, need AMD to get to 95.50. Yeah, AMD was actually this morning the weakest from the semiconductors. Yesterday it showed a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful strength on the 1-minute chart. Unfortunately, I cannot scroll back on the 1-minute chart, but wow, it was here. On the 2-minute chart, you can also see it actually. But on the 1 minute chart, it was way better. It was really clean A to B move, right? You got the A, B, C, D setup. A to B first move, B to C pullback, C to D move, second move. But really, like here, these three candles on the way up, right? That looks very strong. I think it was 9. I can only show the 2 minute chart, unfortunately. So 948, 950, 952. Increasing size of the candles, increasing volume. Red candle and then breakout candle again. I think that was an entry. And then it moved up for the rest of the day. Really, really strong breakout. And then we just kept on moving. AMD today is not that interesting, I think. Now we got definitely the momentum, bullish momentum in the semiconductor stocks. And AMD, it was also about time, right? AMD got online the name Advanced Money Destroyer because people believe in the fundamentals of the company, but it moved all the way from 20 to 25, went all the way back to 90. There are some holders there. It's time perhaps for a pullback to the long side. Nvidia also printing new highs for the day. So what is our stars Tesla doing? Also the high of the day, almost 285. Definitely the strongest of today. So your question is, when watching that many tickets at the open, how do you keep track of the ORBs? Well, that's process, right? Improve your process. It's also skill. I think trading ORB is also simply skill, information processing, and just reading. Just reading, reading, reading. Example, Google. Yeah, it showed a lot of indices. I look at like what does it do with the rest of the market. I got another screen where where I look at the SPY and the Qs, and then I just look at the candles. I'm looking for relative strength, relative market weakness. So I look for strength compared with the rest of the sector, strength compared with the rest of the market. For example, MSTR. Yeah, so it showed strength on the daily chart. It showed strength on the pre-market. Right, daily chart, very nice ABCD setup. It had, of course, the potential catalyst from the strong Bitcoin. Looked strong in the pre-market. It looked strong in the first minute. In the second minute, in the first minute, it looked already stronger than Mera. In the second minute, it also looked stronger than the rest of the market. So then there's some subtle clues of potential strength. I also had a very, very bad mistake today. I'll show it to you guys. Really, really a joke. I feel a bit shame to share it with you guys, but that's part of trading, right? If you're trying to work on the edge, to make decisions on the edge of like what is your capability, right? And practicing new things, practicing new setups, you make mistakes, right? And Intel, what happened in Intel? So they gapped down. They had earnings yesterday as well. Pre-market looked very weak. Pre-market actually looked very interesting. Pre-market, I'm going to show it to you on the 5-minute chart. So post-market with earnings, actually the earnings were not that bad, but the outlook was very bad, right? Intel is a company a little bit in some issues, and they said, okay, we're really gonna adjust things, and the outlook could be a little bit difficult for some time. So well, pre-market We see sell-off, then we see another sell-off, then we see something that we call a price contraction or range getting tighter. Then the late pre-market showed more weakness, right? So everything looked very weak in Intel. And I was also considering to taking it short. But then the first minute came and a really big sell-off candle in Intel. So then at that point, it was for me extended to trade it to the short side. Because I'll show you. Right, the first candle was from 930.30 to all the way to 975, it's like 40-50 cents. See, that's even not even that. It's not even that extended though. Actually, that's not that extended, but it just felt like such a big candle compared with the pre-market candles. So I thought, okay, it could be weak. But then the second candle was a squeeze candle. The third candle, another green candle, but actually it was not convincing. Right? It was not very big or something, but was holding above the VWAP. Fourth candle as well, holding above it, but also not great. The volume was decreasing. The bodies of the candles were decreasing. We just take the candles were decreasing in size. But then I saw this candle closing almost at the high. And I felt, okay, it will still make higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher. You were not even making higher highs. At that point, I also saw the Q squeezing. Right? So I thought, okay, perhaps there could be buyers now in Intel, but I should never have. So I took it long. And the illusion was very short lived, but it was just not good, right? Just it was just slowing down. Minute 3, minute 4 was slowing down. The volume was decreasing in minute 4. The candles were not closing at 80% of the body. Well, just many different stocks on the watch list, right? You also get everything was trading also a little bit different from each other, right? Something were going down, something were going up. And at a certain point, you also get a little bit of FOMO if you get too many stocks on the watch list. And I think this is also part of the reason why I made this mistake. And then in the end, it traded horribly. Usually also Intel trades very bad. Usually Intel trades very bad. It's also Friday, long trading week. Then this Meta was more of a beauty, right? Gap ups, secondary, sympathy because of the Google gap up. Then it showed the weakness in the first couple of minutes, right? Inside candle rejection from the top side, trend line break. Really like this setup. Then it sold off. So what chart so far is this? Is a DAS trader. Okay, so you say, I'm glad I was accumulating Tesla in your long-term portfolio for 240, 230, 220s. I think the people, it's interesting, right? The fear was the most like early this week and also last week. And that's like really, a lot of people capitulated. Everybody's like, whoa, where's this going? There's like only negativity. And you really feel it, right? But they say that's also the moment where you should buy, like for your long-term investment. Also with nuance, of course. There's no investment advice. But like they say, right, the moment you should buy is the moment where you don't want to buy. And that's when the fear is the highest. And everybody seemed to have capitulated early this week and last week. And of course, then also the news turned around, which also might have to do with, of course, that the fear was the highest. So somebody else could be a good short Tesla from now. Well, it would not be my style. Like the Tesla has been the strongest of everything the whole day. Basically, like the strong star of today. Then it would not be my style. I'm not a reversal trader anyway, but I think in general, you should be very careful with like shorting the strongest stock out there. So for me, it would not be a good short to answer your question. So when trading ORB, how do you prevent from getting faked out? Yeah, it's a lot of different things, right? You need to read candle for candle. Relative market strength helps. Also helps to trade stocks with the catalyst, with volume. trade only high liquidity stocks, and do not get in extended. Okay, so Mirsad says AMD got to 95.50. It's very nice. Oh, not yet. Oh yeah, it got there a couple of minutes ago. Somebody else says shorted AMD. So somebody says, hey, what do you think Tesla's going to do? At what level should I get in long? Well, first of all, what it's going to do, I don't know. I have no clue what it's going to do. And even if I would say that I would know where it's going to do, if I would not place my money accordingly, you should not take my advice too seriously, right? Because if I would be really have a clear conviction, I would put my money there. But I see in Tesla that it's showing a lot of strength, right? We had the earnings 2 days ago and showing a lot of strength. And I see it definitely has been the strongest one of today. So the market, they showed horrible earnings 2 days ago, but Tesla is also a company. Investors are liking it because of the future potential of their disruptive technology, right? The robotics and the self-driving cars and the self-driving autonomous taxis. And apparently that fell very well since the earnings report. But if you ask me where to buy it or if to buy it, I would have no clue. Somebody else asked, how much did you start out with when you became a professional trader? Um, I think first it's good to focus on the skill, right? First you need to have the skill. Like the first 8-9 months I traded in a simulator. And I think also that's the reason why I'm still here, like I never lost money in the beginning. I traded first 7-8 months in a sim, and then I actually did the P Capital Bootcamp in 2020. So I really had and then of course the P Capital Bootcamp, now you have a funded account, but back then it was not a funded account. So I traded actually for a very long time in the sim and simulate in the demo. And then when you got the consistency, I think it's best to first get consistent in the simulator and then get consistent in a funded account. I think from Babel Traders, from Andrew Sis could be a good funded account. If you got consistency there, then perhaps deposit something in an account. And then also trade very light, low risk. So you don't need to have a lot of money in your account anyway. Next question, do you use VIPs, FVGs, OBs? I don't use all these things. I just read the price action. I'm looking for volume. I'm looking for catalyst. I'm really looking to find where potential buyers and sellers could step in at the same time. So, or a lot of buyers at the same time, or a lot of sellers at the same time. Then I look for pre-market price action. It's trading different from the rest. Look for subtle clues. And then the market opens. I'm just going to read the price action candle for candle. And then sometimes they have great setups. So then you got a stock that N has a catalyst, N has more volume, N is trading different from the rest, and then it's showing pre-market intraday, it's showing volume, and intraday it's showing that it's different from the rest, and then it's showing also the signs, right? Like in Meta today. So it had the catalyst, right? The news from Google. So it jumped up together with Google. It had elevated volume for sure in the pre-market, not extreme amount, but it had elevated volume. The pre-market was not that different from the rest actually, but the setups are not that perfect, right? And then the market opens, and then we're going to read candle for candle. Then you know that Meta actually was very weak in the first minute, while the rest was strong. The SPY and Qs opened strong. Google also opened strong, especially the first minutes. And then we read the candle, we see the rejections, we see inside candle, and the more inside candle rejections and a breakdown. So that's basically how I puzzle in the morning. For order flow, I look at the price marker, right? You see like this red line where the price currently is. That's for me very important, right? You want to see preferable a lot of transactions, and I really don't want to see the price action just moving up, down, moving up, down. I really want to see it like if I take it long, like smooth moving up, pullback getting bought ups, like same what I want to see in the candles. I want to see like basically in the order flow, sorry, in the price marker. So that's like how I focus on volume. I look at the R vol and I also look at the amount of transactions in the pre-market. Like I look every day at the big tech names. So I know now when there's like elevated volume, right? This morning, like Meta had like 900,000 shares traded when I did the pre-market preparation, like 45 minutes or 1 hour before the market opened. I already knows like 900K shares traded in Meta. I thought, okay, that's more than usual. That's more than usual, right? So I also look at volume at absolute amount of transactions. I look at RVOL. I look at the price marker. And of course, I look at if there's a catalyst. Look if it's trading different from the rest of the market. But yeah, I'm every day trading also live with my screen shared and open mic. And I'm also doing the pre-market preparation every day. So if you want to join one day, just send me a mail, lenny@pcapitaltrading.com. And you could check it out, see if you can learn something. So SPY Q is really just moving sideways. And I don't think that's a weak signal because we moved so much up last couple of days. I think we're not pulling back, right? So we have the absence of weakness. The absence of weakness in some circumstances also is a sign of strength. The price mark, I mean like so where the price currently is. You see? Price in SPY right now is at 548.87, right? And there's like the red line, so the current price, how that moves up and down. That's the price marker. Tesla keeps on going up, right? Almost to 85. Really clean breakout moves here in Tesla. So minutes 37, 38, 40 more or less, or 37, 38, 39. Increasing volume, increasing size of the candles. And also here, that's a pretty interesting breakout. Look at here, look at these three candles, increasing in size, increasing in volume. That's strong. For me, it's not that I will be trading there per se, but I'm not sure if there was a clear setup, but that's really a sign of strength. Then we see the consolidation. It's not even making a steep pullback, it's just moving sideways. It's also again a sign of strength, right? Yesterday in Google, when there was the post-market earnings, are really like a steep candles dropping quite deep. It's like a sign of weakness. But here Tesla, you see just moving sideways. One time we're falling and straight away getting bought up. Falling is straight away getting bought up. There's also signs of strength. But I trust the price action way less after the first 30 minutes. Apple was some profit taking, sorry, in the Google. Meta actually held better. Trading at VWAP now. Amazon very flat today as well. It's more like a Friday. Actually, interesting price action in ABBV. They showed earnings. They had earnings, and I added on my watch list. Nice Nice gap up on the daily chart. But you have to be very careful with these names. Don't trade it if it's not absolutely perfect, right? So the pre-market looks very strong, moving up. Late pre-market, yeah, it's like another move up. Then the late pre-market was already being a little bit weak, and then we see the sell-off. But you see also like a lack of liquidity, right? Like gaps between the candle. The second candle and the first candle is like a gap between it. So it's like a lack of liquidity. I don't like to trade it. Basically see a sell-off, pullback. Also here, gap. But you see some signs of weakness, right? Engulfing here. This candle at volume closing at the low. Small consolidation breaking down again, high volume, but I don't think it would be wise to trade it. The MSTR at the high of the day as well. So let me see. What is Bitcoin doing? By the way, I also have a course on opening range break trading, full course. If you send me a mail, then I can also give you a discount code. So Lenny at pcapitaltrading.com. So another question, I struggle to follow the volume chart because it developed after the price action. How do you analyze the volume in the active price action? Yeah, like for example, like how the price market moves, right? If it just moves up and down, up and down, that's like no volume. But if it's really moving like smooth, tick, 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 moving up, pull, but getting bought up, tick, 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 then you can see like how the volume, how many transactions there are. So other question, is NVIDIA forming a pattern on the 5-minute chart? Well, it could form a pattern, right? But also the question is like, even if it's forming a pattern, like each candle opens and closes every time, right? So it could, some patterns are also just the consequence of random movements. And even if there's a pattern, the question is, does it have predictive validity, right? Not every pattern has also the predictive validity. For me personally, like patterns work like directly after the market open, if there's a lot of volume, if there's a catalyst, etc., etc. But even if it would form a pattern, I don't think it forms a strong pattern now. No, I don't know. It actually looks very strong on the 5-minute chart here, right? See like the increasing size of the candles on the way up, bearish engulfing sandwich, but there you also see the slowdown and another slowdown, again a bearish engulfing sandwich. So yes, you could say it looking strong, but the question is, does it have also predictive validity? It's also the candles becoming smaller here, so it's also slowing down. So I'm not sure, but you could see perhaps a pattern in it, right? Like a bearish engulfing sandwich. Question is, can you trade it profitably? What time frame I believe is the most accurate? I like to trade the 1 minute. I trade only the first 30 minutes and then I trade the 1 minute time frame. So it's time, guys. It's 12 noon. It was my pleasure being here with you guys. Next week, Paris will be back to usual with Paris. And I had a lot of fun with you guys this week. You can always send me a mail if you get a question. Lenny at pcapitaltrading.com. And yeah, glad it's weekend. It was a long trading week. Looking forward also to next week. I'm really curious to see if we bottomed in the tariff war. I mean, not saying that we're going to go straight away to all-time high again or something, but I think the worst is over now. You're all very, very welcome. So, okay, so guys, I wish you a very, very good weekend and see you next time again. Bye, people.